A call from Dad about his remarriage brought Qin Huan 7 more sisters. What's even more bizarre is that each sister seems to have a Voldemort-like system of her own. Eldest sister, it's our first time meeting, so I don't have much to give you. But take this transfer contract for TX Technology Group. Second sister, I heard you like the pop diva Zhao Feifei. I'll call her right now and have her come over to our house to have dinner with you. Third sister, what's wrong with you? Why are you driving a sports car to school? It's embarrassing for our family. From now on, you must take a helicopter instead. Fourth sister, is our family bankrupt or what? Dressing like this? The 2 upscale fashion streets on Tianming Road are all yours from now on. Fifth sister. Sixth sister. Seventh sister. But the presence of these sisters is actually causing Qin Huan a great deal of trouble. Chapter 1, Dad remarries, I now have 7 sisters. September 25, 2022. The first day of university. The hot sun was blazing down on the earth. As Qin Huan was about to drag his suitcase out of the house, his phone suddenly rang in his pocket. Hey, Dad, where have you run off to this time? Qin Huan asked with a hint of dissatisfaction as soon as he answered the phone. His unreliable dad was always coming and going mysteriously, which was nothing new. But today, it was different. It had special meaning for him. The Civil Affairs Bureau. The Civil Affairs Bureau. Qin Huan was clearly taken aback by his dad's response. What are you doing there? What else would I be doing? Of course, I'm there to get a marriage certificate. Before Qin Huan could ask anything further, his dad quickly changed the subject. I've transferred the tuition fee to your card. Be sure to save some money, okay? Then, as if remembering something, he added, by the way, your sisters might go to the airport to pick you up. Be polite, understand? Sisters? They? What the hell? Does my stepmother have several daughters? You're not coming to see me off. Cough cough. His dad awkwardly cleared his throat and replied, I still have to catch a flight with your mom for our honeymoon, so I won't be able to see you off. Bye. And before Qin Huan could respond, the phone call ended. Damn. This dad is totally unreliable, isn't he? Listening to the beep on the other end of the phone, Qin Huan couldn't help but feel speechless. But what Qin Huan didn't know was that, during this time, the world was quietly changing. In a certain war zone in China. On top of a mountain. A graceful female general stood, gazing longingly at the troops below. This general, besides being China's only female war goddess, was also Qin Huan's 5th sister Xia Jinsi. Behind her, several soldiers stood in formation. If you looked closely, you would notice that the lowest ranking officer among them was a major. Although Xia Jinsi was a woman, the fierce and intimidating aura she emitted was truly terrifying. Tu Shi. After a long silence, Xia Jinsi finally spoke, her voice calm but firm. Yes. A similarly elegant and formidable female officer stepped forward. How long have you been with me? Xia Jinsi asked, her gaze scanning the officer. Commander, it's been 8 years, 3 months, and 14 days. Remembering it so clearly. Xia Jinsi was momentarily stunned. In her memory, Tu Shi had always been the carefree type. Of course, Commander. I will forever remember the life-saving grace you showed me 8 years ago. Tu Shi's response was not only strong and resolute but also full of sincerity. Good. Xia Jinsi nodded and walked up to her, placing a hand on her shoulder. I've submitted my resignation. From now on, you are the commander of the 1st Army Group. What? The crowd was stunned, unable to speak for a moment. Before they could say anything, Xia Jinsi interrupted them. I have more important things to do, so don't try to persuade me. In her mind, the barbarians on the frontier had long been scared out of their wits by their years of fighting. As long as the news of her departure didn't leak, there was no way they could cause much trouble. The reason for her departure was simple: Qin Huan's arrival. At TX Technology in the imperial capital. In the executive president's office. Miss, you called for me. A man wearing gold-rimmed glasses respectfully asked the woman in front of him. If anyone else were present, they would be shocked by the scene. Who was this man? He was the renowned chairman of TX Technology, Zhao Feifei. Now, he was showing such respect to an executive president it was unimaginable. Millimeter. Li Mingyu gave a faint nod, then calmly spoke. Uncle Mar, please have someone draft a share transfer agreement for me. I'll need it soon. Share transfer agreement. Ma Huafei hesitated. Miss, should we consult with the board of directors first? No need. I'll handle this myself. Li Mingyu waved her hand decisively. By the way, I'm officially taking over as chairman from today. This. Upon hearing this, Ma Huafei was clearly stunned. What? Do my words not matter? Seeing his hesitation, Li Mingyu's gaze turned stern. No, no. Ma Huafei quickly snapped out of his daze and immediately nodded in agreement. Don't worry, I'll get it done right away. After saying that, he hurriedly left the room. Soon after he left, Li Mingyu opened WeChat. At the Hengjin film base. In the makeup room of a major celebrity. I say, second sister, why did you suddenly quit acting? A middle-aged woman, probably in her 40s, looked at the stunning beauty in front of her, feeling a bit helpless. If it had been anyone else, she would have scolded them, but she dared not do so in front of this woman. The woman in front of her wasn't just a famous first-tier celebrity in China, she was also the boss of their company. If she offended this woman, she might lose her job and, more seriously, be cut off from the entertainment industry altogether. It's nothing. Liu Shisha smiled, her tone deep with meaning. Today, my little brother is coming to the imperial capital. I need to spend time with him. What? Little brother? The middle-aged woman's eyes widened in shock. She clearly remembered that Liu Shisha had 7 sisters, but no little brother. Could it be the boss's boyfriend? Oh my god. If this gets out, all the male fans across China will probably jump off buildings in shock. Meanwhile, Qin Huan's other sisters were also busy preparing for his arrival. Their actions made it seem as though Qin Huan was some sort of rare treasure. On this side, Qin Huan was about to put away his phone when WeChat suddenly chimed. At first, he thought it was just a group message. But when he opened WeChat, he found it was a friend request. Huan, I'm your eldest sister Li Mingyu. Add me. Eldest sister. Li Mingyu. Could this be the sister Dad mentioned? Without thinking too much, Qin Huan prepared to accept the request. But before he could do anything, another friend request came through. Huan, I'm your second sister Liu Shisha. Add me. And after that, 5 more friend requests followed. In an instant, Qin Huan now had 7 sisters. Without wasting time, he quickly accepted all of them. He didn't pick carefully and randomly opened one of the profiles named Liu Shisha. For some reason, Qin Huan felt like he had heard the name Liu Shisha before. When he saw the profile picture, he suddenly remembered. Oh my god. This is the pop diva Liu Shisha, isn't he it? Not only is Liu Shisha a top-tier celebrity, but she is also the unreachable, domineering female CEO that many male fans admire. Her company, Angel Entertainment, is one of the top media companies in China, with over 10 first-tier stars under her management. Her estimated market value is at least 3 billion. Although Qin Huan wasn't a fanboy, he had seen Liu Shisha often in movies and TV shows, so he recognized her. She must be a fan, right? Qin Huan thought to himself. But honestly, who could blame him for thinking that way? Anyone else would probably think the same. Liu Shisha is a superstar, a top diva, while Qin Huan is just an ordinary high school student. To think that they might be siblings, it would be like saying Cristiano Ronaldo is the little brother of a random guy. Chapter 2, 400 million pocket money. I'll take a dozen of these sisters. Of course, Qin Huan still couldn't believe that the person on the other end was really Liu Shisha, but he still typed out 4 words in the message box, "Who are you?" Not long after he sent the message, Liu Shisha quickly replied, "Didn't I already say? I'm your second sister." At this point, Qin Huan really didn't know how to respond. Just as he was about to send another message, Liu Shisha sent several more messages in quick succession. Forget it, I forgive you. You're going to study in the capital, right? As your second sister, I don't have much to give you. How about this? I'll cover your pocket money from now on. I'll give you 30 million every month. You can spend it however you want. What? Did she just say what I think she said? Sister, are you really thinking of yourself as Liu Shisha? And you're going to give me 30 million a month? Why not make it 300 million while you're at it? Qin Huan couldn't help but complain internally when he saw Liu Shisha's messages. Really? In that case, could you transfer me 1 month's pocket money in advance? At first, Qin Huan was just joking around. But he never expected. Just 10 seconds after sending the message, Liu Shisha immediately responded, "Of course, I'll transfer it to you right now." Right now? Is this for real? I haven't even sent you my account number yet. As he thought this, his phone suddenly buzzed with a message from the Agricultural Bank of China. "Dear Mr. Qin Huan, your agricultural bank account ending in 8427 received a successful transfer of 30 million renminbi at 9:43 on September 25. Your balance is now 32,043,300 renminbi. What the? Could it be she really is Liu Shisha?" Looking at the long string of numbers in the text, Qin Huan was suddenly in shock. 30 million. This is 30 million. He never expected that the money would actually be transferred. To say that Qin Huan's wealth at that moment had surpassed 98% of people in China would not be an exaggeration. "So, did you receive the money, Huan?" "Yes, I got it." Qin Huan took a deep breath and cautiously asked, "Sis, you really are the superstar Liu Shisha, right?" "Why not?" "Wow, you really are." After receiving Liu Shisha's confirmation, Qin Huan nearly bit his own tongue. "My god, you're a top-tier superstar, and you're actually my sister." "But, what's the big deal? Your other sisters are way more impressive than I am." "Alright, I've got things to do. If you're short on cash in the future, just tell me." "Bye." "Wait. What? Is the money not enough? Should I transfer another 30 million? Oh." Seeing this, Qin Huan couldn't help but have a few black lines across his forehead. "That's not what I meant. I was saying that the amount is too much. Just send me your account number, and I'll transfer it back to you." "Too much. Too much. Is this even a real question? This is 30 million, not 3,000. If this isn't too much, then what is?" Qin Huan wasn't new to seeing people with money, but he had never met anyone like Liu Shisha, who was so extravagant. "Of course it's too much. I can't accept it." After regaining his composure, Qin Huan quickly replied. He thought that although Liu Shisha was technically his sister, and as a superstar, 30 million might not be a big deal to her. But no matter what, they weren't even related by blood. To just take this money from someone with no reason, Qin Huan's first thought was that he couldn't accept it. "Why can't you accept it? I'm your sister. Giving you money is the least I can do." "But just take it. I've got things to do. Bye." What Qin Huan didn't expect was that before he could finish typing, Liu Shisha seemed to be afraid that he might return the money. Before he could finish, she immediately closed the chat window. "Phew. Good thing I was quick. I just made a huge profit." After taking a deep breath, Liu Shisha tossed her phone aside, feeling pleased with herself. "Sis, please send me your account number. This money really is too much. If Dad finds out I took this much money from you, he definitely won't approve." "Hello, sis, are you still there?" "Still here?" "Still here." "Oh." Clearly, Qin Huan's messages went unanswered. "Forget it. I'll just return it to her next time I have the chance." Next, Qin Huan chatted with a few more of his sisters. But what he never expected was that after chatting with them, his bank account had grown by another 370 million. Qin Huan wasn't reluctant to refuse. But it was hopeless because all his sisters' attitudes were just like Liu Shisha's. "Try returning the money." "Not happening." Just as Qin Huan was starting to feel helpless, his phone rang. "Hello, is this Mr. Qin Huan?" As soon as the call was answered, a pleasant female voice came through. "Yes, this is he. Mr. Qin, this is from the Xiangju Agricultural Bank. We've noticed a large amount of funds were transferred into your account, and we wanted to confirm whether you're aware of this." "Yes, I am." "Good. May I ask if you know who transferred the funds to you?" At this point, Qin Huan knew the country was cracking down on suspicious bank cards, so it wasn't surprising the bank was reaching out to him. "Of course. Could you tell me their names?" "Sure, let me check the WeChat contacts." Qin Huan, not being familiar with his sisters, couldn't immediately name them all. This made the bank staff a bit suspicious. One mistake, and they would immediately lock the card and report it. Fortunately, as Qin Huan checked his WeChat contacts and listed all his sisters' names, the staff didn't have any further doubts. "Okay, Mr. Qin, can you tell me your relationship with these people?" And why did they transfer this amount of money to you? My relationship. They are all my sisters. Qin Huan answered. As for the money, they said it's for my pocket money. What? Did he just say what I think he did? These are all his sisters. And the money is just for pocket money? The bank employee was completely stunned by this answer. Liu Shisha. She is a top superstar, the boss of Angel Media. And Li Mingyu? That is even more terrifying. Just recently, at least 10 listed conglomerates announced that Li Mingyu would be taking over as the chairperson of their boards, including TX Tech and Bytech, both domestic trillion-dollar companies. So now Qin Huan was saying these were his sisters. No one could believe it. And this was 400 million RMB. Now you're telling me this is just pocket money? I'd like to know where I can get a dozen sisters like these. Mr. Qin, are you sure? The staff asked after a long silence. Of course, I'm sure. Okay then, I won't bother you further. The staff member, seeing that Qin Huan's answers didn't raise any issues, was ready to hang up. But just as she was about to do so, she suddenly had an idea. By the way, Mr. Qin, if you have time, feel free to visit us at the bank to upgrade your card to a Diamond VIP Black card. And my employee ID is 3688. You can also ask the bank to assign me as your personal customer service. Really? Qin Huan thought for a moment and said, I have to fly this afternoon. Do you think the agricultural bank in my county can handle it? Probably not. The staff member responded and suggested, how about this, I'll have someone drive to pick you up and take you to the city branch. Is that all right? Sure. Great, I won't call you again then. After finalizing the details, they both hung up. Chapter 3, Another Private Jet. After that, Qin Huan first went to the Agricultural Bank of China ABC in the city and applied for a Diamond VIP Black card. Soon after, the bank personally arranged a car to take him to the airport. Hello, could I get a ticket to the capital city, please? Qin Huan said as he approached the ticket counter. Sure, could you please show me your ID card? The staff member asked. When Qin Huan handed over his ID card, the staff member immediately stood up and began comparing the ID with Qin Huan's face. Qin Huan, feeling a bit uncomfortable, asked, Is there something wrong with my ID? Huh? The staff member was clearly taken aback by Qin Huan's question. After quickly realizing her mistake, she replied, No. No, nothing's wrong. Then hurry up and process my ticket. Qin Huan said impatiently. Mr. Qin, I'm afraid we can't process this here. What do you mean? Qin Huan was confused. The staff member explained, We received notice earlier that a private jet has already been arranged for you. Once you get to the airport, you can just board the plane. Hearing this, Qin Huan immediately realized that it must have been one of his sisters who arranged this. Please wait a moment. I'll notify someone to pick you up, the staff member added, picking up a walkie-talkie to contact the relevant personnel. Meanwhile, a group of Qin Huan's high school rivals, led by Ma Wenhao, had just arrived at the airport. When they spotted Qin Huan, they immediately started whispering to each other. HMPH, jumping to the big leagues, huh? Just a small town exam nerd. Hearing the praise around Qin Huan, Ma Wenhao couldn't help but feel uncomfortable, and said sarcastically, I think now that he has some money, he has lost his head. Yeah, typical nouveau riche mentality, another person added. None of them were exactly innocent either. Ma Wenhao was the only son of Margua, the richest man in Linen, Xiangju. Clearly, he was a rich second generation. All of Ma Wenhao's friends were his sycophants at school, and they were now planning to ridicule Qin Huan further. But just as they were about to continue their taunting, an unexpected scene unfolded before their eyes. A man in a pilot uniform, accompanied by 3 beautiful flight attendants, walked up to Qin Huan with wide smiles. Hello, Mr. Qin, they greeted respectfully and bowed to him. What the heck? None of them expected this. Not even Qin Huan himself. Who are you? Qin Huan asked, slightly stunned. Hello, Mr. Qin. I'm your personal pilot, Dong Wen. I have 13 years of flying experience, the pilot introduced himself with a smile. From now on, I will be your pilot for your private jet. Hello, Mr. Qin. I'm your personal flight attendant, Zhang Xiaoxiao. I graduated from Nanjing Aeronautics University in 2020 and have 1 year and 6 months of flight experience. Hello, Mr. Qin. I'm your personal flight attendant. After Dongwen finished introducing himself, the other three flight attendants introduced themselves in turn. Mr. Qin, would you prefer to go to the tarmac now? Dongwen asked respectfully. Wait, Qin Huan replied. Did you just say, that's my private jet? Yes. Dongwen confirmed. Alright, then let us go. Qin Huan nodded. He immediately understood that this private jet must have been arranged by one of his sisters. The group was then escorted through a special channel to the tarmac. Ma Wenhao and his group were still standing nearby. Boss, what's going on? How did that guy get in there? One of his followers asked. Should we follow him? Another person suggested. Forget it. Ma Wenhao snapped. That's a VIP channel. Only VIP customers and private jet owners can access it. Who do you think can go in there? What? They all asked in shock. Are you saying Qin Huan is a VIP customer? But how could that be? The group was stunned. They never imagined that Qin Huan, whom they thought came from an ordinary background, was actually a VIP customer at the airport. As for them not considering the possibility of Qin Huan being the owner of a private jet, well, that was because their thinking was just too small. On the tarmac, Qin Huan was struck by the grandeur of the private jet. When he boarded the plane, he was even more amazed by the luxury. The interior was not only lavishly decorated but also fully equipped with all kinds of amenities. To his surprise, there was even a small golf course inside the jet. Qin Huan estimated that this upgraded private jet must have cost at least 2 billion yuan. Mr. Qin, may I offer you something to drink? Zhang Xiaoxiao asked as she wheeled a drinks cart toward him. I'll have red wine, Qin Huan replied. The real reason he chose red wine was that he had never had it before. He wanted to know what it tasted like. Certainly, I'll bring you a glass of Romani Conti. How does that sound? Sure. Qin Huan agreed. He didn't know much about red wine, but the most expensive wine he'd ever seen was a bottle of 82 Lafite just in novels. It was a popular wine in the world of rich men in stories. Zhang Xiaoxiao poured a small glass of wine and handed it to him. Mr. Qin, please enjoy. Thanks. Qin Huan took the glass, following the actions of the big shots in the movies. He swirled the wine a little and then took a small sip. Oh! Qin Huan immediately thought, this is awful. When the red wine hit his taste buds, he couldn't hide his disappointment. Mr. Qin, how's the taste? Zhang Xiaoxiao asked when she saw him frown. Well, it's alright, just so-so. Would you like me to bring you another kind of red wine? Zhang Xiaoxiao asked, thinking that someone like Qin Huan, now rich, might be quite particular about his wine. No need, I'll just drink this one. Qin Huan waved her off. Alright then. Zhang Xiaoxiao nodded and left. Before long, the plane, under the control of Dongwen, slowly lifted off from the ground. The journey from Xiangju to the capital city would take about 3.5 hours. Qin Huan had planned to take a nap, but as soon as he closed his eyes, he suddenly felt a soft, warm touch on his shoulder. Not only that, but someone even propped his legs up on the table in front of him. Clearly, the service from Zhang Xiaoxiao and the others was far more attentive than just serving tea and water. Qin Huan, feeling relaxed, didn't stop them and soon fell asleep. About 3 hours later, when Qin Huan woke up, he was surprised to find that Zhang Xiaoxiao and the others were still gently massaging his shoulders. Chapter 4, Who are these two beauties? Mr. Qin, are you awake? Zhang Xiaoxiao, who had been massaging Qin Huan's calf, smiled brightly when she saw him wake up. She immediately asked, would you like something to eat? No need. Qin Huan stretched lazily and asked, how much longer until we arrive? About half an hour, Zhang Xiaoxiao replied. Alright, you guys can go ahead and rest for a bit, Qin Huan said, noticing how tired they all looked, so he suggested they head to the lounge. Half an hour later. At Beijing Daxing International Airport, after bidding farewell to Dongwen and the others, Qin Huan made his way to the exit on his own. Hey, little brother, where are you headed? Need a ride? As soon as Qin Huan arrived at the exit, 3 or 4 middle-aged men surrounded him. I'll take a look first, Qin Huan replied, not sure if his sisters would be coming to pick him up. So, he decided to wait outside and see what happened. However, the moment the black car drivers heard his words, they saw something entirely different. To them, Qin Huan looked like a young, inexperienced student, and they figured if they could just get him into their car, they could overcharge him as much as they liked. "What's there to look at, little brother? Just come with me," one of them said, grabbing Qin Huan's suitcase as he tried to leave. "Why should I go with you?" Qin Huan asked, surprised. At this moment, another driver stepped forward and said, "Little brother, you should come with me. I've got an Audi, way better than that guy's old car." "Phut, Audi? Please, mine's a BMW," a third driver chimed in. "BMW? Har har, well, mine is." Suddenly, all the drivers began arguing loudly at the airport exit. "I'm telling you, you guys should stop arguing. I'll just grab a taxi," Qin Huan finally said, growing frustrated as their argument intensified. But as soon as the drivers heard this, they grew more insistent. One of them quickly grabbed Qin Huan's suitcase and said, "A taxi? Those are so expensive, you should come with me instead." "Li, what are you doing?" one of the other drivers asked, ready to grab the suitcase as well. It was Qin Huan's first time traveling far, and he'd never experienced anything like this before. He was at a complete loss for what to do. "Hun hun." Just then, a sweet voice called from behind them. The drivers turned instinctively, and so did Qin Huan. Hiss. "Who are these two beauties? They are unbelievably gorgeous." As soon as they saw the two women approaching, the men almost had their eyes pop out of their sockets. The crowd around them, too, stopped dead in their tracks, staring. "Did you just call me?" Qin Huan asked shyly, not fully understanding why they were calling him, but feeling a bit flustered. The reason was simple: the two women were breathtakingly beautiful, and this was his first time talking to women this stunning. Of course, who else would it be? Li Mingyu said with a playful glance, giving him a little scolding. "You didn't even send us a message when you arrived. If it weren't for Xiao Dong letting us know, your fifth sister and I would still be waiting outside." Qin Huan's face flushed instantly, embarrassed. Before he could respond, Xie Jinxi, standing beside Li Mingyu, playfully slapped Li Mingyu on the rear end. All right. Hun Hun is just traveling for the first time. Don't tease him." Hiss. Good heavens. What did I just see? The onlookers, as well as Qin Huan, were all equally stunned by what had just happened. Fine, I won't tease him," Li Mingyu pouted, turning back to Qin Huan. "What are you standing there for? Should I carry your luggage for you?" "Oh." At her words, Qin Huan's face turned beet red as he moved to grab his suitcase from the black car drivers. But at that moment, one of the drivers, eyes darting mischievously, spoke to Li Mingyu in a lecherous tone. "How about you guys take my car? It's a BMW. Why don't you take my car? I'll drive you for free," another driver added. The other drivers quickly followed suit, trying to get in on the offer. "No need, we have our own car," Li Mingyu replied coldly, her voice suddenly turning frosty. "Hey, I." Before they could argue further, Xie Jinxi stepped forward, her eyes cold, and glared at the men. Hiss. The men froze, taking a sharp breath, before one by one stumbling backward as if they'd seen a ghost. Unbelievable. It was terrifying. Just a look from her made them feel like they were facing death. They had no idea who this woman was, but they could feel the danger in her gaze. She was no ordinary woman. This was the only female warrior in the entire country of Huaxia. A fierce combatant who had slaughtered invaders without mercy. Had Xie Jinxi not been considering her fellow countrymen, these men would have already passed out from the shock, or worse. "What's going on with these guys?" one bystander asked. "They are so useless, just from seeing beautiful women they act like this." "Maybe not, I feel like they were scared." "Really? A woman can scare someone." Everyone around was confused, and the situation was just as surprising to Qin Huan. "Let us go," Xie Jinxi said coldly, picking up Qin Huan's suitcase effortlessly. 3 minutes later. In the airport parking lot, as Qin Huan and the two women approached, they saw a crowd gathered around a car, watching something with excitement. As they got closer, Qin Huan saw that they were all staring at a sports car. "My God, this car is too gorgeous!" Qin Huan couldn't help but exclaim. Although he didn't know much about cars, he could tell that this one was breathtaking. He guessed that the price tag on this car would be astronomical. "Howsy, do you know what kind of car this is?" one of the bystanders asked. No idea. I've been in the capital for 3 or 4 years, but I've never seen this one, Housie replied, taking out his phone. Wait, let me check it on Baidu. Why bother, this is obviously a Lamborghini Veneno, someone else said, cutting him off. Really? This is the Lamborghini Veneno? Housie asked, astonished. I heard this car is worth 90 million, and there are only 13 of them in the whole country. What? 90 million? And there are only 13 in the entire country. The crowd was floored. They couldn't believe their ears and stared in disbelief. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I have to take a photo with this car, one person exclaimed. I want one too, another person added. Move, move. Everyone get in line. Take turns, someone shouted. The commotion was getting bigger and bigger as people began snapping pictures. Suddenly, the crowd parted as Xie Jinxi pushed her way through. As she walked, everyone moved aside as if they'd all had too much to drink. Within moments, she reached the car door. Hey! What's the deal with you? Yeah, don't you know how to queue? So rude. Finally, I found a good spot. Now you. The people who had been knocked over were about to continue yelling when they saw Xie Jinxi turn around. Chapter 5, Another Lamborghini Veneno. Hiss. My God. This woman is too beautiful. When the crowd saw Xie Jinxi's face clearly, they couldn't help but gasp in awe. They had seen beautiful women before. After all, in their circle, there were quite a few attractive girls. But comparing them to Xie Jinxi, it was as if there was a world of difference. Of course, as women, none of them wanted to admit that they were inferior to someone else. Furthermore, Xie Jinxi's actions earlier made it clear she didn't consider them worthy of her attention. One woman, dressed in revealing clothes, got up from the ground and pointed at Xie Jinxi, angrily shouting, Hey, do you know how much this outfit cost me? How dare you push me to the ground? Yeah. If you don't pay for my clothes, I won't let this go. What the hell, just because you have a little looks, you think anyone will let you push them around? After the woman finished speaking, several other women immediately echoed her sentiments. As for the men around them, upon seeing this, they instinctively wanted to step in and save the damsel in distress. But before they could act, Li Mingyu, who was standing next to Qin Huan, stepped forward and reached Xie Jinxi's side. Who told you to block our car? Falling over is your own fault, she said. Holy crap! What is going on today? Another stunning beauty. Clearly, Li Mingyu's appearance had once again shocked the crowd. Wait, what did she just say? This is their car? No way. Is that true? This is a Lamborghini Veneno we're talking about, right? How could they, so young, afford such a luxury car? After the shock, the crowd began to doubt Li Mingyu's words. Stop boasting. I think. Before the woman could finish, Li Mingyu calmly reached into her LV bag and pulled out a sleek car key. She then, in front of everyone, pressed the button to unlock the nearby Lamborghini Veneno. Oh my God! This is really hers. As the car's engine roared to life, the crowd froze, unable to believe their eyes. How could this be true? Was this car really Li Mingyu's? The woman who had been shouting earlier was now so stunned that her jaw nearly hit the ground. What's slapping the face? This is what it looks like. As for asking Li Mingyu for compensation, to be honest, they wouldn't dare even if they had 3 times the courage. After all, who would dare offend someone who owns such a car? Hun, do you know how to drive? Li Mingyu smiled at Qin Huan, not paying any attention to the stunned onlookers. Yes, Qin Huan replied. Great. Then this car is yours. Li Mingyu said, tossing the car keys to Qin Huan. She then turned to Xie Jinxi, and the two walked towards another car nearby. Start the engine, and the action was seamless. As for Qin Huan, he wasted no time either. After placing his luggage inside, he jumped into the driver's seat of the Lamborghini Veneno. After a quick glance, he easily started the car. Beep beep beep. With a few honks, the 2 luxury cars drove straight toward the parking lot exit. Holy crap, who are these 2 women? Are they seriously that rich? Exactly, just giving away a Lamborghini Veneno like it's nothing. I envy that guy so much. If I'm not mistaken, besides the Lamborghini Veneno, the other car looks like a Rolls-Royce Phantom. What? Rolls-Royce Phantom? Oh my God, that car costs tens of millions, right? As they watched the luxury cars leave, the crowd couldn't help but feel a mixture of admiration and shock. They had thought the Lamborghini Veneno was already impressive, but they hadn't expected the other car to be just as ridiculously expensive. Meanwhile, after driving out of the parking lot, Li Mingyu and the others headed straight onto the national highway. Along the way, the Lamborghini Veneno caught the attention of pedestrians, many of whom pulled out their phones to film the car. Half an hour later, at a parking lot on a pedestrian street in the capital. "Sis, what are we doing here?" Qin Huan asked as soon as he got out of the car. "What do you think?" "We're here to get you some new clothes." Li Mingyu gave him a once-over and said, "You're my little brother, but dressed like this, it's not good enough. Besides, I need to take you to a meeting later. We can't let people look down on you." "But I think this outfit is fine." Qin Huan weakly protested. "Fine? Just listen to me." Li Mingyu insisted. Okay. Qin Huan relented, giving in with a sigh. With that, the group left the parking lot and, under Li Mingyu's lead, walked into a nearby Armani boutique. "All right, let's start with this store," Li Mingyu said as she led them inside. "Good day, may I help you?" the sales assistant asked as she approached. However, upon recognizing who it was, she immediately bent down and greeted, "Boss, good day." "Boss? Wait, what? Is she the boss here?" The other staff members in the store quickly turned to look, and when they saw that it was indeed Li Mingyu, they immediately stopped what they were doing, rushing to stand in front of her. The store manager, Liu Cixi, led the staff in bowing and saying, "Good day, boss." "Millimeter, good day," Li Mingyu responded, waving her hand dismissively, "You all go back to your work. Let Xiao Liu stay with us." "Of course, boss." The staff nodded and quickly returned to their tasks, leaving Liu Cixi alone with Li Mingyu and the others. "Boss, are you here to inspect the store?" Liu Cixi asked curiously. "No," Li Mingyu replied as she pulled Qin Huan forward, "This is my little brother, Qin Huan. I'm here to help him pick out some clothes." "Little brother?" Liu Cixi looked at Qin Huan, who may have been dressed simply, but his looks were enough to make her blush slightly. "By the way, do you have any new arrivals in the store?" Li Mingyu asked. "We do," Liu Cixi replied. "Great, then show us the new arrivals." With that, the three of them followed Liu Cixi to the section with the latest collections. Chapter 6 Baby, pick whatever you want. Huan, do you want to choose it yourself or do you want us to choose it for you?" Li Mingyu casually glanced at the clothes in front of him and asked Qin Huan. "Let me see for myself." After Qin Huan finished speaking, he immediately looked at the clothes in front of him. "I have to say, big brands are big brands. Not only are the materials used in the clothes very high-end, but the style is also very beautiful. Qin Feng's figure is what is called a clothes hanger. If he could wear these clothes, it would definitely be the icing on the cake." However, when Qin Huan saw the prices of these clothes, he immediately backed out. "Sister, why don't we just forget it? You know, the price on any tag of these clothes in front of you is 5 figures. And there are 2 or 3 of them, even reaching 6 digits. It's nothing." When Li Mingyu heard Qin Huan's words, she knew what he was thinking, so she immediately said, "You don't want it because you think it's too expensive. All this." But before she could finish her words, suddenly, a very loud female voice came from behind, "Baby, pick whatever you want." "Okay, dear." Then, another flattering male voice was heard. "Honey, it seems like all the models over there are new. Can I go over and pick some?" "Certainly." "Thanks, dear." As the man spoke, he immediately came over to Qin Huan and the others with a happy look on his face. "Oh shit. Aren't these 2 girls so beautiful?" The man was about to go up and strike up a conversation, but he quickly reacted. Next second, he simply ignored Xia Jinxi and the other daughter, and reached out to grab a piece of clothing in front of him that was worth about 180,000 yuan. Compared to beautiful women, he clearly knew what he needed more. "Honey, can I have this one?" While the man was gesturing with the clothes, he asked the fat middle-aged woman who was walking towards him with an expectant look on his face. "Let me see." The woman did not agree immediately, but walked forward and took a look at the price on the clothes. "Okay, it's not expensive, take it if you like it." Obviously, this woman is definitely a rich woman. After all, that dress cost about 180,000 yuan, and she said this without even blinking. Honey, can I pick out a few more? But how could that man be easily satisfied? Facing such an obese middle-aged woman every day, he had to endure the nausea and keep calling her dear in front of outsiders. Even in private, you have to meet some BT requirements. In return, he doesn't want to let it go like this. After hearing this, the fat woman was obviously hesitant. She really didn't think one piece was expensive, but if she bought several at once, it would still hurt. What's the matter, don't you love me anymore? Seeing this, the man immediately pretended to be very angry. Baby, how could I not love you? Seeing the man was angry, the fat woman also took the risk. Okay, I'll buy it for you, isn't it okay to buy it for you? I know my dear is the best to me. The man said, and he did not forget to kiss the woman on the face, trying to suppress his nausea. My dear, I will choose you then. Without waiting for the fat woman to react, the man's hand had already reached out for the clothes in front of him, etc. And it was at this moment Li Mingyu, who was standing by, called out to him. What's the matter? The man asked. He wondered, could it be that the beautiful woman in front of him had some feelings for him? Not only did he think so, but the fat woman also thought so. To be honest, if Li Mingyu knew what they were thinking, she would probably vomit up the food she had eaten the previous night. It's like this. Li Mingyu showed an apologetic expression and explained, we want all the new models here. How about you buy something else? After all, this is his own store, and Li Mingyu is a businessman. She is very respectful to customers. But what she didn't know was, the man felt quite unhappy when he heard what she said. How can this cooked duck just fly away like that? Why do you want it just because you want it? The man curled his lips and said indignantly, you want all of them. Do you have that much money? You don't have to worry about this. Li Mingyu was too lazy to argue with her and immediately prepared to ask Liu Cixi to pack up all the clothes in front of her. In her opinion, since Qin Huan didn't choose himself, she might as well get them all for him. However, before Li Mingyu could open his mouth to give orders, the man took the lead and questioned Liu Cixi, let me ask you, who are you selling these clothes in your store to? Excuse me, sir. Would you like to take a look at other styles? Although Liu Cixi did not give a direct answer, I'm afraid even a fool could understand the meaning. This really made the man very angry. Okay. After the man said, okay, 3 times, he turned around and deliberately said loudly to the fat woman, honey, I remember you seem to have said that the owner of this store is your friend, right? The obese woman hesitated for a moment, then replied with a guilty conscience, of course. Then call their boss right away. I don't believe it. How about forgetting it? The fat woman said. In fact, deep down, she even hoped that Li Mingyu and the others would buy all the clothes so that she wouldn't have to spend her own money. What's more, she was just bragging when she said she knew the owner of this store. My dear, can you bear to let me swallow this breath? Well, okay then. The fat woman had no choice but to take out her cell phone. After pretending to dial a number, he started making the call in front of everyone present. Hey, honey, where are you? Really? You went to Norway. What can I do for you? I just saw a few pieces of clothing in your store, but you, the salesperson, don't seem to be willing to sell them to me. No, it's not easy for them to work, why would you fire them? Hey, we're friends, I'll be mad if you give me a discount. Okay, bye. I have to say, the fat woman's acting skills are quite good. If her boss hadn't been standing next to her, Liu Cixi might have really been scared by her. Well, did you see it? Now you should know who to sell the clothes to, right? After the fat woman finished her call, the man immediately turned his nose up at Liu Cixi and said, my dear is your boss's friend. If she wasn't kind-hearted, you would have been fired just now. Chapter 7 Li Mingyu, the doting brother. Excuse me, sir. When Liu Cixi heard the man's words, she immediately suppressed her laughter and said, I still say the same thing, why don't you take a look at other styles? Talking about your own boss. The boss is standing next to me, okay. What the hell, what do you mean? The man wanted to pretend to be magnanimous. But who would have thought that Liu Cixi would show him no mercy at all? His face immediately turned cold, and he said to Liu Cixi, just wait, I'll show you what's going on. After saying that, he turned around and looked at the fat woman again, honey, call her boss again right away. She must be fired today. From the expression on the man's face at this moment, you can tell that he is really angry. After hearing this, the fat woman was a little hesitant. It does matter if others don't know. She knew very well that the call just now was just a random number she dialed. Could she really fire Liu Cixi just by making a phone call? Stop joking. Honey, why are you still standing there? Hit me now. The man saw the fat woman standing there motionless. He immediately walked up to her, shook the fat woman's arm and spoke in a coquettish voice. Fuck off. But at this moment, the obese woman tried to suppress her embarrassment and said, my best friend finally went on a trip, why bother her for no reason? Let's wait until she comes back to discuss this matter. What? It will take a long time for her to come back. When the man heard this, he immediately refused to do it. Honey, can you bear to see me being bullied like this? What's the point of bullying? Can't you come back next time? I don't care. You have to buy it for me today, otherwise I will not be with you anymore. The man gritted his teeth and threatened. You? However, how could a fat woman bear the threat of a mere toy? Her face turned pale, and she waved her hand and slapped the man. You bastard, I gave you face, didn't I? Why don't you just be nice to me? Do you really think I can let you do it? I have to say. This slap woke the man up completely. Yes. He is just a plaything. Threatening the financiers. He found it a little funny just thinking about it. What are you still standing there for? Get out of here right now. The fat woman glared at the man fiercely and immediately walked towards the door. Seeing this, the man covered his cheek. After hesitating for a moment, he finally followed with a flattering look on his face. In his opinion, the slap just now was not in vain. I have to change the shop and make a lot of money from this woman. And soon after they left. Liu Cixi over here has also asked someone to pack all of Qin Huan's new clothes. Boss, all the clothes have been packed. Do you want to take them away directly or send someone to deliver them to your manor? Liu Cixi looked at Li Mingyu and asked her. Send someone to the manor. After hearing this, Li Mingyu said, we have to go to other stores. Okay. Liu Cixi nodded and started to make arrangements immediately. As for Li Mingyu, he took Qin Huan and the other person and walked out of the store directly. Next. The second one is Versace. The third one is Louis Vuitton. The fourth one is Bulgari. Fifth, Gucci. The sixth one. Just 1 hour. Li Mingyu took Qin Huan and the other person to visit all their more than 30 luxury stores in the pedestrian street. As for why it takes so short, the reason is actually very simple. It was because the first thing Li Mingyu said when he entered was to pack up all the new models for me and send them to the manor. That's right. It's so domineering. It is so arrogant. You know, each of these stores has at least a dozen or 20 new models. And the price of any one of them is at least around 100,000. That is to say, in just 1 hour, Li Mingyu had already spent about 100 million yuan for Qin Huan. Use 100 million to buy clothes and shoes for your younger brother? It's no exaggeration to say. There is no other person in the whole of China except Li Mingyu. Certainly. In fact, Li Mingyu didn't spend any of his own cash to buy these things. This is because all the luxury stores in this entire pedestrian street are owned by her. And not only the stores, but even the land on which these stores are built, is owned by her alone. Huan, is there anything else you want? As the few people walked out of the Saint Laurent store, Li Mingyu asked Qin Huan. There is none left. Qin Huan hurriedly shook his head and said with a wry smile, Sister, you bought too much. In his opinion, the clothes, pants and shoes he bought just now would probably fill up a truck. What's so extra? Your second sister has way more clothes than you do. Li Mingyu curled her lips and said calmly, besides, this is our own store. If I can't prepare more clothes and shoes for you, why would I open it? Well. After hearing this, Qin Huan's forehead was filled with black lines. Okay, you're still short of a watch. I'll take you to get some more. It's not hard to hear. When Li Mingyu said this, it was just like an ordinary person going to buy cabbage. It only takes less than 10 minutes. The three of them were seen walking out of the 3 luxury watch stores again. Moreover, Qin Huan, who was already wearing luxury goods, now had an exquisite watch on his hand. If there is someone who knows the business, He will definitely recognize immediately that this watch is Patek Philippe caliber 89. Its value is guaranteed to be over 350,000. For now. In the whole of China, Qin Huan should be the third person to own this watch. Certainly. Just because Qin Huan is wearing this one piece on his hand doesn't mean Li Mingyu only bought this one for him. You know, right after I walked in, Li Mingyu asked the store managers to pack the 20 most expensive watches from each brand for her. That is to say, from the 3 stores combined, Li Mingyu bought a total of 60 watches for Qin Huan. Even if he changes one piece a day, it will take him 2 months to change them all. As for its value, it can only be described as sky high. After all, apart from Patek Philippe, the remaining 2 brands are Vacheron Constantin and Tag Heuer. It's no exaggeration to say, just from these few brands, any watch would cost millions. What's more, Li Mingyu was among the top 20 in the pack. I believe that if there is not 1 billion, it is estimated to be at least 800 million. To be honest, Qin Huan really couldn't understand why Li Mingyu was so generous to him. Is she really a brother-loving demon? Chapter 8 Shareholders who strongly oppose. Big sister, where are we going now? Qin Huan looked at his fashionable clothes, smiled wryly and asked Li Mingyu. To be honest, he was used to wearing cheap clothes, so he felt a little uncomfortable wearing these luxury goods. Moreover, Qin Huan discovered that almost everyone who passed by couldn't help but look at him a few more times. There were also several long-legged beauties among them, winking at him. If there weren't beauties like Li Mingyu around, they would have come up to me and asked for my contact information. Come to the company. I have to take you to a board meeting. Li Mingyu first straightened Qin Huan's collar, then said with a smile. Board meeting. After hearing this, Qin Huan couldn't help but ask in confusion, why would I go to participate in that? You'll find out when you go there. Li Mingyu did not explain much, and then took Qin Huan to the parking lot again. At the same time, in front of TX Technology building. Fuck, who are Mr. Ma and the others waiting for? Why is it so grand? They've been waiting for almost an hour, right? Who knows? It seems like all the company's top executives are here, right? That's right, is there some important person coming? The security guard at the entrance of the building couldn't help but whisper something when he saw the many company executives in front of him. After all, this was the first time they had seen such a scene since they entered the company. Big shot. Who could be more powerful than Lao Mar? TSK, what's old Mar? Don't you know that the company has changed its chairman? Oh my god, if you hadn't mentioned it, I would have forgotten. Judging from the situation, are they waiting for the new chairman? I think it's very likely. Just when the security guards here were having a lively discussion. At this time, a group of senior executives had been waiting at the entrance of the building for a long time. Among them, there were a few directors who couldn't help but complain to Mar Huafei. Boss Mar, did Director Li say when she would be here? We've been waiting for her for an hour. Yes, why don't you give her a call? I have a friend waiting to invite me for tea. I give up. It's just a meeting, but you have to get us all here. It seems to me that she. Just when one of the directors wanted to say something, suddenly, 2 luxury cars drove over from a distance. Okay, everyone stop complaining and get ready to welcome Director Li. Seeing this, Mar Huafei on the side hurriedly greeted everyone. After hearing this, the directors curled their lips in disdain. In their eyes, they and others are all directors. Although Li Mingyu is the major shareholder, they are not small players either. Being able to stand here is already a huge honor for her. Beep. Accompanied by a burst of car horns. Soon, Li Mingyu and his group's car stopped in front of the crowd. Seeing this, Mar Huafei immediately trotted to the door of the Rolls-Royce Phantom. With a flattering look on his face, he opened the passenger seat. Miss. Li Mingyu hummed and got out of the car. As for Qin Huan and Xie Jinxi, the same is true. I have to say, Qin Huan really didn't expect that the company Li Mingyu was talking about would actually be the famous TX Technology. You know, TX Technology is definitely one of the best internet companies in China. Qin Huan couldn't even imagine being able to come here. Huan, come here. After Li Mingyu got off the car, he waved to Qin Huan. Qin Huan, who was looking at the TX Technology building, quickly came to Li Mingyu after hearing this. Huan, let me introduce you. This is the current CEO of TX Technology, Mr. Mar Huafei Mar. Seeing Qin Huan coming over, Li Mingyu pointed at Ma Huafei and introduced him. Ma Huafei. Shit, is he the chairman of TX Technology? How did he become the CEO? You know, Qin Huan had no time to look at his phone all day. So I have never heard of the major news that happened today. Hello, Mr. Ma. Although Qin Huan was a little confused, he still politely extended his hand to Ma Huafei. Har har har, I don't deserve it. I guess you are the young master, right? You are really a handsome man. Seeing this, Ma Huafei quickly stretched out his hands and held Qin Huan's right hand. The expression on his face shows how enthusiastic he wants to be. By the way, who is this? It was at this moment that Ma Huafei quickly noticed Xie Jinsi, who was standing beside him with a strong aura. This is my fifth sister, Xiaoxia. After seeing this, Li Mingyu just introduced him casually. Fifth sister. Oh my god. Could this be the only female war god in China? Ma Huafei is a smart man, and after Li Mingyu's brief introduction, he even called her Xiaoxia. Naturally, he guessed Xie Jinsi's identity immediately and didn't dare to ask any more questions. After nodding to Xie Jinsi, he turned around and looked at Li Mingyu again. Miss, the conference room is ready. Do you want to go there now? Go over there now. Li Mingyu didn't say much, he took a step and walked in front with Qin Huan. As for Ma Huafei and the others, they hurriedly followed. 10 minutes later. In a meeting room. I called everyone here today because I have something to announce. After all the shareholders sat down, Li Mingyu first arranged Qin Huan to stand next to him. Then, he said calmly, the thing is, from today on, the position of chairman of TX Technology will be held by my brother Qin Huan. As for me, I will quit TX Technology from now on. What? Let me be the chairman of TX Technology. My dear uncle, are you kidding me, sister? This is a group company with a market value of trillions, right? You just gave it to me so easily. When Qin Huan heard this, he almost stumbled and fell to the ground. He originally thought that these cheap sisters were incredibly generous. But I never thought that Nima would be so generous. Trillions of assets can be given away just like that. Who the hell would believe this? As for the shareholders present, their situation was naturally not much better. They stared with their eyes wide open, unable to believe their ears. You know, only a few hours have passed since Li Mingyu was announced as the chairman this morning. Now we have to change the chairman again. And he's just a little brat. For a moment, the shareholders present came to their senses and immediately became furious. One of them immediately stood up and said, I disagree. With your brother's immature appearance, what right does he have to be the chairman of our group? Mr. Liao is right. I don't agree with that either. And me, the company doesn't belong to you, Li Mingyu, alone. I strongly oppose it. That's right. As a shareholder, I will never allow you to be nepotistic. After hearing this, the other shareholders quickly echoed it. Chapter 9 Taking over TX Technology Group. Bang! After hearing what everyone present said. Before Li Mingyu could speak, Ma Huafei reached out and slammed the table a few times. Everyone, be quiet. What a noisy scene. Boss Mar, what do you mean? We are all shareholders. Is it not okay for us to object? Yes, there is no room for negotiation. Obviously. Ma Huafei, who is now just an executive president, cannot control this group of shareholders at all. Be opposed to. It was at this time. Li Mingyu sneered and said disdainfully, with just your small stake, do you have the qualifications to object? What the hell, what did you say? When Mr. Liao heard this, he immediately stood up from his seat. Pointing at Li Mingyu, he said with a sullen face, Li Mingyu, even if our shares are small, we are still shareholders. TX Technology is not yours to rule alone. Boss Liao is right. Even if you say anything, we won't agree today. Oh. Li Mingyu listened. He curled his lips and said calmly, I hope you know that I am the largest shareholder of the company. My decision is the company's final decision. If you have other ideas, either swallow them back honestly or sell them to me. After Li Mingyu finished speaking, he glanced at everyone present with a mocking look on his face. You know, Li Mingyu owns 88% of TX Technology's shares. As long as she makes the final decision, no matter how much others want to object, it will be of no avail. You? When everyone present heard this, they were almost angry to death. I wanted to refute, but I didn't know where to start. They are all smart people, So how could they not know that there is nothing wrong with what Li Mingyu said? The reason they objected just now was just because they were angry at the moment. As for selling shares in TX Technology, har har, I guess only a fool would do this. Well, do you have any objections? Seeing that everyone was so angry that their faces turned red and their necks became thick, Li Mingyu immediately said to Mr. Liao with a half smile, "Mr. Liao, if I remember correctly, you should only have 6% of the shares, right? If you really can't accept my decision, you can actually sell all your shares to me. How about it, do you need to sell it? I can give you cash right away." I won't sell it." Mr. Liao, who was asked, heard what Li Mingyu said. After holding it in for a long time, he finally squeezed out these few words reluctantly. To be honest, he had no doubt about the truth of Li Mingyu's words. After all, she really had the ability. You should know that just this morning, at least 10 listed groups announced Li Mingyu as their chairman. Among them, there are quite a few companies whose market capitalization is no worse than that of TX Technology. Just imagine, for such a terrifying person like Li Mingyu, buying a mere few shares from him would be as easy as eating a meal, right? He is now very worried. In order to take back the shares from them, will Li Mingyu choose to inject a large amount of capital and dilute their shares? If Li Mingyu really did that, it can be said that they don't even have the ability to fight back. Since you don't want to sell it, then just sit down quietly. You humph. Mr. Liao snorted arrogantly, but finally sat down obediently. What about you? Just at this moment, Li Mingyu turned around and looked at the other people present. We will obey Director Li's arrangements. They are not fools. Mr. Liao, the second largest shareholder, has already compromised, so how could they dare to object? That's more like it. After seeing this, Li Mingyu nodded with satisfaction. Afterwards, Ma Huafei handed a share transfer contract to Qin Huan. Huan, I've already signed. All you have to do next is sign your name, and from now on, TX Technology will belong to you. As Li Mingyu said this, he stood up from the first seat. Big sister, why don't we just forget it? Qin Huan looked at the contract in front of him and couldn't help but smile bitterly and said, I'm still just a student. This company is too big. I'm afraid I can't manage it at all. Don't let it go bankrupt for you. The shareholders present heard Qin Huan's words. I couldn't help but think, humph, you have some self-awareness. What do you mean? But in the next second, Li Mingyu, who heard his words, pushed Qin Huan onto the seat. If you can't manage, then don't manage. Our company is not without a management team. You can just be a hands-off manager. Besides, bankruptcy is nothing. At worst, I can just give you another company later. What? I say, sister, aren't you too willful? After all, this is $1 trillion group. Why do I feel like you are treating it like a small stall? After hearing what Li Mingyu said, Qin Huan almost stumbled and fell to the ground. As for the other shareholders present, their situation was not much better. One by one, you look at me and I look at you. I almost doubt whether they are hallucinating. What is willful? What does arrogance mean? This is just fucking willful. This is so fucking arrogant. To be honest, they now really envy Qin Huan for having such a domineering sister. This is $1 trillion group. Damn, you just give it away like that. And even if the company goes bankrupt one day, Qin Huan can take over other companies. At this moment, they wanted to ask, where can you find a sister like this? Please give us a dozen too. Okay, sign it now. Li Mingyu handed the pen to Qin Huan, looking impatient. Looking at her appearance, if you don't know, you would think this is some company that is about to go bankrupt, waiting for a big enemy to take over. Well, okay then. No way. Qin Huan finally had no choice but to take the pen and sign his name on the share transfer contract. Bang bang bang. With a round of applause, the meeting finally ended. Next. Qin Huan and his companions, accompanied by many senior shareholders, first took a tour around the entire building. As the chairman of the board, Qin Huan naturally walked in the front. This led to the employees who saw this scene speculating about Qin Huan's identity. And when they learned that Qin Huan was their new chairman, the male employees were bowing and nodding, while the female employees were frequently flirting. Certainly. Qin Huan remained quite calm about all this. In his opinion, since he is the chairman now, he must act like a chairman. Afterwards, they returned to the entrance of the building again. Sis, where are we going now? Go home. Speaking of. The three of them left here again with the farewell of Mar Huafei and others. Chapter 10: The Terrifying Gatekeeper. The vehicle sped along. It only takes about half an hour. Qin Huan and the other two soon arrived at a mountainside in the suburbs of the imperial capital. At this time, it is just below the mountainside. There was a group of burly men wearing security uniforms and holding electric batons, patrolling there. If you look closely, you can easily find that each of them has some disabilities. For example, the security guard in the lead seemed to be missing his left hand. However, although they are disabled, judging from the aura they exude, they are definitely not ordinary people. Salute. When they saw the oncoming vehicles, they saluted and quickly raised the fence on the road. Xiaowang, you have worked hard. Xie Jinsi rolled down the car window and first glanced at the security guards present. After nodding with satisfaction, he smiled and spoke. Commander, is that you? You're back. When they saw the people in the car, the security guards immediately surrounded them with joy on their faces. Xie Jinsi hummed and asked, how is it, are you used to it here? This is a habit, but, you know. The leading security guard shook the electric baton in his hand and said with a wry smile. You know, they were all part of the First Army group before. Their weapons in their hands are all special equipment. Now they have been replaced with electric batons, and it is normal for people to feel uncomfortable. I see, you guys just don't know how to appreciate your blessings. Xie Jinsi curled her lips and said earnestly, since you have all retired, just live your life well. What's the point of being surrounded by corpses and blood every day? This. Okay, I have to go home now. I'll treat you guys to a drink when I have time. Okay. Everyone nodded and saluted Xie Jinsi again. 10 minutes later. Qin Huan and the other two finally drove the car to their destination. Looking at the towering gate in front of me, Qin Huan, who was sitting in the car, almost dropped his jaw to the ground in shock. He never expected it. The manner that Li Mingyu mentioned was so magnificent and majestic, even its gate was so majestic. Beep. Accompanied by the sound of car horns. The courtyard door, which weighed more than 1,000 pounds, was also broken open from the inside. Welcome home, miss. As soon as the gate was opened, more than a dozen beauties in maid outfits came into view. At this time, they were all standing on both sides of the door. It was no exaggeration to say that they were a beautiful scenery. Although their looks and temperament are not as good as Li Mingyu's girls. But if you walk on the street, you will definitely get 100% attention. To be honest, Qin Huan really didn't expect that his sister would be so discerning even when choosing a nanny. And how could Qin Huan know? These maids not only have outstanding looks, but their strength is also not to be underestimated. It can be said that if you pick any one of them, the lowest level of education is a postgraduate degree. Just as Qin Huan was sighing inwardly, Li Mingyu's two daughters got out of the car. Then, they came to Qin Huan's car and said, Huan, get off. Oh. Qin Huan said, oh, and then got out of the car. Big sister, is this your home? Isn't it too grand? Qin Huan glanced around and could hardly believe his eyes. I saw that this manor was not only huge in size, but also had a very well-designed interior. Pavilions, towers, rockery, green plants, fountains, white marble floors and so on. You can say that. Basically everything you can think of can be found here. And what shocked Qin Huan the most was, such a huge manor has only a European-style villa built in the very middle. Although this villa is 2 or 3 times larger than an ordinary villa. But no matter how Qin Huan looked at it, he felt that it was such a waste to build only one villa in such a large area. Even though this place is located in the suburbs of the imperial capital, it is still a place where every inch of land is valuable. If one is not incredibly rich, probably few people would dare to be so extravagant. What do you mean my home? This is our home, okay. Hearing Qin Huan's words, Li Mingyu immediately corrected him and said, you will live with us from now on. Live together. What else? Li Mingyu curled her lips and said calmly, of course, if you want to live closer to school, I can buy you a school district house near the school. Let's just forget it. When Qin Huan heard this, he quickly waved his hand. Okay, let's talk about this later. Let's go into the house first. Your sisters must be waiting anxiously. Li Mingyu said this and immediately prepared to take Qin Huan away. But at this moment, she thought of something. He turned around and said to the maids present, this is my brother Qin Huan. From now on, he is your young master. His words are my words. Did you hear me clearly? I heard it clearly. All the girls responded in unison and immediately shouted to Qin Huan, "Hello, young master." "Oh, hello." After hearing this, Qin Huan scratched his head awkwardly and replied, "Obviously." It was the first time he was called young master, and he was a little uncomfortable with it. But his embarrassing state was particularly adorable in the eyes of the girls. "Okay, let's go in." Li Mingyu did not waste any more time and took Qin Huan and the other person directly towards the villa not far away. As for the two luxury cars parked at the door, the maids will naturally help drive them into the parking lot. "Oh my god, this young master is so handsome, isn't he? TSK, 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 I never thought that the eldest lady actually has a younger brother. Who says it's not true? The key is that this brother's last name is Qin Huan. It sounds like a handsome guy's name. He, the way he scratched his head just now is enough to melt my heart. Indeed, it's really cute." Looking at the backs of Qin Huan and the other two as they left, the maids present couldn't help but discuss in a low voice. It is not difficult to find that each of them had a bright look in their eyes when they talked about Qin Huan. At the same time, Qin Huan and the other two quickly arrived at the door of the villa. Since the door of the villa was already open, Qin Huan could see everything inside at a glance. In addition to the extremely luxurious decoration, there seemed to be several beauties inside who were no less beautiful than Li Mingyu. What were they busy doing there? Chapter 11, The Sisters with Extraordinary Abilities. What are you guys busy with? Li Mingyu came to the door and shouted towards their hall. "Big sister. It's big sister who's back." When the girls heard the sound, they immediately rushed to the door. They first hugged Li Mingyu. Then I discovered that there seemed to be two people standing at the door. "Why, you don't even recognize me." Xia Jinsi curled her lips and said in a very unhappy manner. You know, Xia Jinsi has basically stayed in the border area over the years, even during the Chinese New Year. As a result, they were unable to recognize him for a while. "Jinsi? Are you Jinsi? Fifth sister, you're back too. We haven't seen each other for more than 6 years, right? Fifth sister, I miss you so much." The girls came to their senses and hurriedly hugged Xia Jinsi again. And wait until they finish hugging. Only then did he finally turn his attention to Qin Huan. "Big sister, this is our brother Qin Huan, right? He looks pretty strong." The third sister Zhuang Mengmeng first looked at Qin Huan carefully, then patted Qin Huan's arm and said, Huan, are you interested in Chinese martial arts? How about I teach you Chinese martial arts?" After hearing this, Qin Huan was about to say something. But at this moment, fourth sister Xia Jinyan grabbed his right hand. While studying it, he exclaimed, "TSK, TSK, TSK, it's obvious that he is a natural chef, right? How about it, Huan, do you want to learn cooking from me, your fourth sister?" "Why learn cooking? His slender fingers are obviously a good material for studying medicine." While the seventh sister Tang Shiting was retorting, she grabbed Qin Huan's right hand into her own hand. "Studying medicine is bullshit. How could our Huan do such a bloody thing?" He Wen, the sixth sister standing by, immediately said, "In my opinion, Huan is obviously an artist, so it's more reliable for her to learn writing from me." "Why learn writing? How much can you achieve with it? You'd better learn Chinese martial arts from me. Learn cooking. You must learn cooking. Huan, don't listen to them, just learn medicine from me." "No, I have to. I have to say." Qin Huan was so overwhelmed at this moment, he felt like he had fallen into the spider cave. Fortunately, it happened at this moment. The eldest sister Li Mingyu at the side stopped them immediately. "All right, stop arguing. This is Huan's first time home, please don't scare him away." When the girls heard this, they immediately felt a little embarrassed. She couldn't help but stick out her tongue in embarrassment at her eldest sister Li Mingyu. Li Mingyu saw this. After rolling his eyes at them, he turned to Qin Huan and said, Huan, let me introduce them to you." Li Mingyu said, pointing at one of the girls in black tights, "This is your third sister Zhuang Mengmeng, the only female martial arts master in China, who once single-handedly challenged 5 major gangs in the United States." Hiss. Is this true or false? When Qin Huan heard this, he couldn't help but take a breath. He never expected it. Zhuang Mengmeng looks very weak, but not only has an amazing appearance and figure, but her fighting power is also so terrifying. You know, American gangsters all carry BU with them. How can you escape alone and unscathed like this? Qin Huan came back to his senses and immediately looked at Zhuang Mengmeng with admiration and said, "Third sister, you are too amazing, aren't you?" He, it's okay." Zhuang Mengmeng puffed out her chest, looking quite proud. "So, now you should be interested in learning Chinese martial arts from me, right?" That. Qin Huan was about to say something. But the fourth sister beside her couldn't wait any longer. As if she was afraid that Qin Huan would agree. Before Li Mingyu could introduce her, she stepped forward and stood in front of Qin Huan. "Huan, I am your fourth sister Xia Jinyang, the only 9-star female chef for the state banquet in China, who has won." However, before Xia Jinyang could finish her introduction, another girl interrupted her directly. "Okay, stop bragging." As she said that, the girl quickly introduced herself. "Huan, I'm your sixth sister He Wen. I'm sure you, a scholar, have heard of me. I'm Huan, I'm your seventh sister, Tang Shiting, the only one in the country who has studied medicine." "What do you mean? I haven't finished introducing Huan yet." "What the hell, Huan is definitely not interested in your cooking skills." "Who said that? I think you deserve a beating." Har, can you beat me? You?" What made Qin Huan speechless was the sisters, who had just been quiet for a while, started arguing again. "Alright, I'm telling you guys, are you guys done yet? I have to say, the eldest sister is the eldest sister." As soon as Li Mingyu said this, the girls immediately fell silent again. "Look at you two, how can you still act like sisters?" Li Mingyu looked at the sisters in front of him and said unhappily, "Whatever Huan wants to learn, just let him choose it himself." Li Mingyu said with a smile on her face, and turned to look at Qin Huan. "Huan, you just listened to their introductions, have you decided what to study in the future?" "I have to say." Li Mingyu's attitude towards Qin Huan at this moment was completely different from his attitude towards his sisters just now. Qin Huan was silent for a moment, and in the expectation of the sisters, he finally said, "How about learning them all?" To be honest, Qin Huan really didn't expect that the first meeting with the sisters would be to discuss learning things. And deep down, he is actually more interested in Chinese martial arts. But in order not to disappoint his other sisters, he said what Du Shui said. "You learn everything." After hearing this, Li Mingyu immediately looked at the women present and asked, "Did you all hear it?" "I heard it." Although the sisters were not very satisfied, since Qin Huan said so, they could only nod reluctantly. "Okay, let's all go in," Li Mingyu said, turning around and looking at Xia Jinyang. "Jinyang, is the food ready?" "Certainly." "Okay then, let's prepare the meal. Don't let Huan get hungry." Soon, the crowd first walked around the hall and then came to the restaurant. Looking at the huge dining table, it was piled with all kinds of delicious food. Qin Huan, who didn't feel hungry at first, suddenly felt his stomach growling. "Huan, please sit here." The eldest sister pointed to the seat at the top and spoke to Qin Huan. "No, I'd better sit here." Qin Huan waved his hand and immediately prepared to sit at the end. But how could Li Mingyu let him do that? He immediately pulled him to the seat at the top and said, "Our father is not at home right now. You are the pillar of our family. You must sit here today." Chapter 12. Down to Earth. Liu Shisha. "Big sister is right, Huan, just sit there." Yes. Li Mingyu just finished speaking. The other sisters immediately agreed. "Well, okay then." Seeing that he really couldn't get rid of it, Qin Huan could only sit down reluctantly. "Okay, everyone, relax and eat." As Li Mingyu said this, everyone immediately prepared to start eating. But just at this moment, seventh sister Tang Shiting slapped her head and said, "Oh my god, second sister seems to be still sleeping in the room. Then why are you still standing there? Go call her." Li Mingyu rolled his eyes at her and said unhappily, "TSK, didn't you forget it too?" As Tang Shiting stood up, she couldn't help but murmured softly, "What are you mumbling about?" Nothing. Tang Shiting said this and immediately trotted towards the stairs to the second floor. When Qin Huan saw this scene, his heart was full of anticipation. After all, he will be able to meet the superstar soon. Not long. Tang Shiting and a girl in pajamas with messy hair came to the restaurant door. Oh my god. Is this the private queen Liu Shisha? Is T the difference between this and the image on the TV screen too big? When Qin Huan, who was full of expectations, saw Liu Shisha, he could hardly believe his eyes. He originally thought that Liu Shisha would definitely make a stunning appearance just like her image on TV. But who would have thought? Certainly. It's not that Liu Shisha's appearance and figure are very different from those on the TV screen. But she was wearing pajamas and had messy hair, and she didn't look like a star at all. Just when Qin Huan was feeling a little disappointed about this. But at this moment, Liu Shisha came to the restaurant and rushed towards him. Before Qin Huan could react, Liu Shisha stretched out her hands and directly held his cheeks in her hands. She moved her face closer, and her beautiful eyes kept wandering over Qin Huan's face. At the same time, the words that came out of his mouth almost made Qin Huan faint. Huan Huan. You must be Huan Huan. Come, let second sister cherish you. What the hell? Hey, second sister, you are a superstar after all, okay? Let's just say, can you pay a little attention to your image? Qin Huan with his cheek supported. Looking at the peerless beauty in front of me. Not only did he not have the slightest appreciation for it, he felt quite speechless instead. Shisha, what are you doing? Don't scare Huan Huan. Li Mingyu, who was not far away, saw this and quickly said to Liu Shisha in a very unpleasant tone, hurry up and sit down to eat. What's wrong with you? Okay. I have to say. The eldest sister is the eldest sister. With just this short sentence, Qin Huan immediately escaped from Liu Shisha's clutches. After Liu Shisha sat down, everyone started eating immediately. I have to say. Xia Jinyan's cooking skills are really extraordinary. Qin Huan had just put a piece of unknown meat into his mouth when his eyes lit up the next second. How about this French-style snail dish, Huan Huan? Do you like it? Xia Jinyang looked at Qin Huan and asked nervously. You know, her idea is that as long as Qin Huan likes the dishes she cooks, then he will definitely be interested and learn to cook from me. By then, it's delicious. Fourth sister is worthy of being the master of state banquets. While Qin Huan swallowed the piece of meat, he gave Xia Jinyang a thumbs up. Yeah. Seeing this, Xia Jinyang almost jumped up with joy. Huan Huan, you. Just when Xia Jinyang wanted to say something, He Wen, who was sitting next to her, seemed to see through her thoughts. Before she could finish her words, He Wen picked up a small piece of steak and put it directly into Qin Huan's bowl. Huan Huan, try this. Okay. Qin Huan said this as he was about to pick up the steak. But at this moment, the other sisters also followed suit and put food into his bowl. Certainly. This naturally includes my second sister Liu Shisha. And she is different from others. The other sisters just used chopsticks to pick up food for Qin Huan, but she held the bowl and poured the food directly into Qin Huan's bowl. It was just a blink of an eye. The bowl in front of Qin Huan was already piled high with dishes. Sisters, aren't you too enthusiastic? Looking at the almost overflowing table of dishes in front of him, Qin Huan couldn't help but smile bitterly. What's that? You're our brother, isn't it normal for us to be so warm to you? The second sister Liu Shisha said. Yes, eat quickly. The other sisters echoed. Qin Huan was still somewhat moved after hearing this. After nodding, he stopped being polite and started to work immediately. Halfway, Li Mingyu even poured a glass of red wine for everyone. You know it without thinking. The value of this red wine is absolutely astronomical. 10 minutes later. Huan Huan, you don't want to eat anymore. Seventh sister Tang Shiting saw Qin Huan put down his bowl and chopsticks and said to him, this Boston lobster, eat it quickly. Yes, you only ate one abalone, don't waste the rest. And this pigeon soup, you can have some later. Seeing this, the other sisters echoed the words. Belch. Qin Huan burped, and faced with the enthusiasm of the sisters, he couldn't help but said with embarrassment, Sister, I really can't eat anymore, how about you eat it by yourselves, I didn't see you eat much just now. How can that be possible? These are all specially prepared for you. Sister, Qin Huan was just about to say something. Fortunately, at this moment, the eldest sister Li Mingyu stood up and said, Okay, you really want to starve Huan Huan to death. Since he can't eat it, why not just give it all to Xiaoya and the others? The Xiaoya and others that Li Mingyu mentioned were the group of maids who were at the door earlier. As for whether they would dislike it because it is leftover food, It's no exaggeration to say. It's good enough that they don't fight for things. Not to mention these ingredients, they are simply not affordable for ordinary people. It's because of Xia Jinyang's cooking skills that it's quite difficult to arrange a meal with many big shots. Dislike? Okay, it doesn't exist. That's fine. Seeing their eldest sister say so, the girls finally decided to give up. And it was not long after they had dinner. Then a servant in a maid outfit hurried in from the door. Miss, Brother Wang from the mountain called and said that the things you bought today have arrived. Yeah. After hearing this, Li Mingyu immediately said, let them go. Okay. The servant nodded and walked out immediately. Chapter 13 Sister, you're going too far. Not long. 3 large trucks were parked outside the gate. It goes without saying that the things loaded on these trucks are the clothes, shoes and watches that Li Mingyu bought for Qin Huan. Next. It took more than a dozen people almost half an hour. Only then were all the things in the car finally moved to the cloakroom that Li Mingyu had specially prepared for Qin Huan. Sister, aren't you going too far? He Wen looked at the huge cloakroom in front of her, which was completely filled. So, she pouted and spoke to Li Mingyu in grievance. Why, are you jealous of Huan? After hearing this, Li Mingyu patted her head and said, if I remember correctly, it seems that all the clothes and shoes in your cloakroom were taken from my store for free, right? TSK, who told you this? He Wen curled her lips and couldn't help but explain, what I meant was, I was planning to take Huan to buy these tomorrow, but I didn't expect you to get there first. Indeed, big sister, you really went too far this time. In fact, that's what I was planning too. And me, too. I'm so angry. Now I don't even know what to buy for Huan. When the women present heard what he Wen said, they immediately condemned Li Mingyu. Yeah. But Li Mingyu saw this and said smugly, it's your fault for not being proactive. You can't blame me. This. After hearing this, the women could only shake their heads helplessly. Okay, it's getting late. Li Mingyu turned around and said to Qin Huan, you have to report to school tomorrow morning. I'll take you to see the room now. After Li Mingyu finished speaking, he immediately took Qin Huan to the door of the innermost room on the 2nd floor. Seeing this, others immediately followed suit. Huan, this is your room, go in and take a look. As Li Mingyu opened the door, he said to Qin Huan. Okay. Qin Huan nodded and walked in. Hiss. This. Isn't this room too big? And this decoration, this layout. Oh my god. When Qin Huan came to the room, he was immediately dazzled. How is it? Are you satisfied? Li Mingyu and others followed closely into the room. Satisfied, of course I am satisfied. Qin Huan replied as he looked at it carefully. As long as you are satisfied. After hearing this, Li Mingyu pointed to a cardboard box not far away and said to Qin Huan, inside is the laptop and some daily necessities I prepared for you. Don't forget to bring them with you to school tomorrow. Thank you, big sister. Thank you for what? You're still being polite to me, kid. Hey. Qin Huan chuckled and couldn't help scratching his head. Huan, don't you want to thank me, your second sister? At this time, Liu Shisha on the side said, see these hundreds of figures? I prepared them all for you. TSK, what's so great about figurines? All the books on this bookshelf were prepared by me. Huan, look here. These boxing equipments were all prepared by me, your third sister. Huan, ignore them, look here. What Qin Huan didn't expect was. Just because of his thank you, the sisters started to take credit for it. Okay, you guys are really shameless. Do you want Huan to thank you one by one? Li Mingyu curled his lips and immediately prepared to leave with the girls. Thank you, sisters. Just as the sisters were about to walk out of the room, Qin Huan bowed to them sincerely. Although Qin Huan didn't understand why they were so nice to him. But Qin Huan could feel their warmth from their words and actions. Okay, sisters get it. Go to bed early. Good night. The sisters smiled at each other and then closed the door for Qin Huan. And it was not long after they left. Qin Huan first went to the bathroom to take a shower, and then lay directly on the bed. I don't know if it's because I'm used to my bed. Qin Huan lay in bed for nearly half an hour but couldn't fall asleep. He had no choice but to play with his phone for a while. Boom boom boom. At this moment, someone knocked on the door and asked, Huan Huan, are you asleep? No. Qin Huan got up from the bed and asked outside the door, Sister, what can I do for you? I just forgot to give you my phone, please open the door. Give me your phone. After hearing this, Qin Huan opened the door with a confused look on his face. Next second, the elder sister outside the door handed a brand new mobile phone box to Qin Huan and said, Your phone is too old. Use this one from now on. Seeing this, Qin Huan was about to refuse. In his opinion, although his mobile phone is a bit old, it is still usable. But before he could say anything, Li Mingyu seemed to see through his thoughts and said, Don't be polite to your sister. Take it. I have to go to bed. Thank you so much, big sister. Seeing this, Qin Huan didn't want to let Li Mingyu down. After saying thank you, he finally took the phone. Okay, if there's nothing else, I'll leave. Li Mingyu said this and left immediately. Wait until Qin Huan closed the door. He took the cell phone box and went straight to the computer desk. Huawei Mate 50 Pro. You know, this phone is more than just a new one. What's more important is that it is sold in limited quantities, so it is extremely difficult to buy. And although the official price is only around 8, if you want to get it, it will probably cost at least tens of thousands of dollars. After Qin Huan opened the box, he began to study it immediately. I have to say, you get what you pay for, this is really true. Qin Huan, who had never used such a high-end mobile phone, fell in love with it instantly. And how would Qin Huan know? The mobile phone Li Mingyu gave him was specially customized by Huawei's boss Ren for top upper-class people. Whether it is hardware or software, it is several levels higher than the ordinary mobile phones on the market. Although boss Ren gave it away for free, if it were sold on the market, it would probably be worth at least 100,000 or 80,000. If Qin Huan looked carefully, he would find that there was a letter Z engraved with a special laser on both the packaging box and the back of the phone. Qin Huan studied it. I first downloaded WeChat on my mobile phone and then logged in directly. DD. He had just landed. The message in the senior class group immediately rang out. Chapter 14 The Enviable Ma Wenhao. Qin Huan didn't think much about it. Since I was free anyway, I just opened the group message. What caught his eyes was the news that his arch-enemy Ma Wenhao was showing off without leaving any trace. Ma Wenhao, classmates, have you all entered the new school? How is the environment? I drove out to do shopping all day today. I'm so tired. Don't say that. The imperial capital is the imperial capital. It really can't be compared to our little place. Ma Wenhao's message had just been sent out. Other students in the group responded immediately. I really envy Mr. Ma. He actually has a car in the capital. Hey, school doesn't start until tomorrow, and I just rented an apartment today. The environment is barely okay. By the way, Mr. Ma, where do you live in the imperial capital? Ma Wenhao was lying on the bed at this time and saw the news from his classmates. Feeling proud in his heart, he immediately replied, The car I just picked up today is not a good one, just a Porsche Cayenne worth about 1 million. As for the house, I was originally planning to buy a villa, but there are none for sale around here. So I bought a school district apartment of about 100 square meters near the school with full payment. I have to say, Ma Wenhao's words were like a depth bomb. The students in the group were instantly excited. Oh my god, is this true? Mr. Ma, you are too awesome. That's right. He even modestly said it's not a good car. If this isn't a good car, then what is? Boss Ma, if I remember correctly, the school district housing near Imperial University costs at least 100,000 per square meter, right? What? 100,000? My dear uncle, 100 square meters would cost tens of millions, right? When everyone heard this, they couldn't help but gasp. You know, 10 million is an astronomical figure for ordinary people like them. Even if you work hard all your life, you probably won't be able to earn so much money. TSK, this is nothing to Mr. Ma. That's true. Mr. Ma's father is the richest man in our county. He can buy a house worth tens of millions whenever he wants. Boss Ma, I just want to ask if you need any accessories for your thighs. I'm so envious. I'm so envious. At this time, the students in the group were quite envious of Ma Wenhao. This also made Ma Wenhao's vanity reach its peak. Har har, you don't have to be envious. Ma Wenhao curled his lips and said pretentiously, "We are all classmates. If you have any problems in the future, just let me know. Mr. Ma is so open-minded. I'm determined to make friends with you. By the way, Mr. Ma, can you let us take a look at your house? It's worth tens of millions. I really want to know what it looks like. Yeah, I'm curious too. How about sending us a video?" It was at this time. Suddenly, several classmates made a suggestion. "No problem, just wait a moment." Ma Wenhao originally wanted to show off, so how could he possibly refuse them? He immediately stood up from the bed. "So I prepared to take pictures of the entire house. Didi." However, just as he was about to turn on the camera, a series of friend requests suddenly rang out. You know it without thinking. These must be the classmates in the class who want to get close to him. And it was just as Ma Wenhao thought. When he opened the WeChat address book with a smug look on his face. What caught my eye were more than 20 friend requests. There are quite a few girls among them. Moreover, everyone's application content was basically all flattery for him. "Mr. Ma is so awesome, don't forget me in the future." "What, Mr. Ma, I'm XXX, can you be my boyfriend?" As for Ma Wenhao, after seeing these contents, although he felt very happy, he did not immediately click to approve the application. In his opinion, he is now the big boss in their hearts, so he still has to behave in the right way. Next, he first used his mobile phone to take a picture of the entire house. While filming, he also didn't forget to brag about the decoration of the house and his newly purchased furniture. And wait until he finishes filming. Without wasting any time, he sent the video directly to the group. Hiss. "My dear uncle, this house is too luxurious, isn't it? I have to say, Mr. Ma and I have the same taste. This decoration style is really good. Any piece of this furniture must cost tens of thousands, right? Amazing, really amazing." When the classmates in the group watched this video, one by one, they all sighed. "By the way, Wenhao, I just added you on WeChat, can you give me friend status?" It was at this time that the study committee member Liang Qing directly posted this text. "Oh my god. Is this true or false? Didn't Liang Qing always think highly of herself and look down on everyone? Why are you so servile now? My goddess, are you also going to be defeated by reality?" When the other students in the class saw this, they couldn't believe their eyes. You know, when Liang Qing was studying in school, she was not only the study committee member of their class, but also the third most beautiful girl in the school. Usually at school, no matter which boy it is, she basically won't even look at him twice. This naturally includes Ma Wenhao in high school. You know, Ma Wenhao had pursued Liang Qing before, but was rejected by Liang Qing with disdain. The reason why Qin Huan and Ma Wenhao became mortal enemies. In fact, a big part of the reason is because of Liang Qing. When Qin Huan handed in his homework, he couldn't stand Liang Qing's bullying and had an argument with her on the spot. As a result, because of this, Ma Wenhao directly regarded Qin Huan as a stepping stone to save the beauty. He gathered a few lackeys and blocked Qin Huan in the toilet. Fortunately, Qin Huan had the advantage of height, and even when facing 3 or 4 of them, he managed to end up in a draw. Moreover, this matter was widely circulated in the school at the time. Certainly, everyone was only shocked for a moment. When they came to their senses, they immediately imitated Liang Qing and sent messages in a humbly manner. "And me, Mr. Ma, I just sent you a friend request." "Me too. We sit at the tables in front and behind each other. Don't forget me in this friend seat." And me. For a moment, all the students in the group were actually asking Ma Wenhao to give them friend status. "Don't worry, come one by one." Ma Wenhao's mouth curled up slightly, and he quickly added them all as friends. "Boss Ma, we should keep in touch more often in the future." Yes. "By the way, Wenhao, have you considered the fact that I just asked you to be my boyfriend?" "And I, Wenhao, asked that too." "I say, can you guys stop calling me so affectionately? You can't call me Wenhao." "Fuck, Liang Qing, what are you pretending to be?" "You're right. I really thought you were pure and innocent. How come you still want to snatch the title of literary giant from us? So what if I rob you? I don't even care what you look like. You? What is unexpected is, in just a short while, Liang Qing actually started arguing with several girls in the group. Qin Huan saw this scene. With a look of disdain on his face, he immediately prepared to quit WeChat. In his opinion, these girls are really realistic. But just at this moment, Ma Wenhao suddenly added him and sent him a message. Boss Qin, how about we add each other on WeChat? After all, we're going to study in the same university soon. Oh my god. Is this true or false? Mr. Ma actually wants to add Qin Huan's WeChat. Aren't they mortal enemies? Oh shit, could it be? When the classmates saw what Ma Wenhao said, I was a little confused at first, but I quickly reacted. This guy obviously wants to act cool in front of Qin Huan. After all, being able to show off in front of your mortal enemy gives you a much greater sense of accomplishment than showing off in front of them. As for Qin Huan, he naturally guessed this. He originally didn't intend to pay attention to it. But who would have thought that Ma Wenhao would soon send another message in the group? No movement. Could it be that his broken phone is broken? I think it's very likely. With that phone, I don't think my grandma would even want it if she gave it to me. That's right, our pineapple phone is still the best. Pineapple phone. Damn, landlord, did you get a new phone? Of course, this thing is not expensive, only a few thousand yuan. Do you think everyone is as poor as Qin Huan? Although everyone knew that Qin Huan was admitted to Qing University, the city rewarded him with 500,000 yuan. But in order to curry favor with Ma Wenhao, he deliberately said some words that belittled Qin Huan. And how could Qin Huan tolerate this? Have you eaten feces with your mouth? What kind of phone I use has nothing to do with you. Since these guys want to step on me to curry favor with Ma Wenhao, don't blame Qin Huan for speaking harshly. Fuck, Qin Huan, what the hell are you talking about? Why, you're not allowed to talk about using a crappy cell phone. I'm talking about your uncle. Does it have anything to do with you? Why is it okay? You are also a classmate of our class 131. Aren't you embarrassing us as well? I don't have classmates like you, so don't flatter yourself. You? Just when the two sides were arguing fiercely, Ma Wenhao stood up at this time and said, okay, stop arguing. We are all classmates. What's there to argue about? I have to say, this guy is really good at pretending. And after he sent this text, then he at Qin Huan and said, Boss Qin, how about adding WeChat? Need not. Qin Huan curled his lips and replied unhappily. How about adding more? Are you wandering the streets now? Seeing Qin Huan's refusal, Ma Wenhao would never let him go so easily. I just happen to have a utility room here, it's free. And I can drive you to school tomorrow. Oh shit. Mr. Ma is really mean. We are not fools, so how could we not hear the hidden meaning in Ma Wenhao's words? The few people who had just quarreled with Qin Huan also hurriedly jumped out again. Qin Huan, I think you should add it. I have to say that Mr. Ma is a very magnanimous person. Of course not. Even though it's just a storage room, it's better than living on the streets. I really didn't expect that President Ma could be so magnanimous. Qin Huan, just be happy. What is a dog licker? This is it. Looking at the disgusting words of these people in front of him, Qin Huan almost vomited. After a long time, Qin Huan then replied calmly, I have a place to live, so you don't have to worry about that. There's a place to stay. Is that true? From what I see, you're not planning on sleeping in KFC. Har har har, I guess he's planning to sleep in the internet cafe. As soon as Qin Huan said this, those guys immediately started to mock him again. Chapter 15, The Slap in the Face. I said you. Seeing this, Qin Huan immediately prepared to say something. But before he could speak. But at this moment, Ma Wenhao took the lead and sent out a text message, oh, really? Since you said you have a place to live, can you send it out for us to see? Yes, Mr. Ma is right, just post it and let us see it. Har har, I really want to know whether you are bragging or not. Those guys immediately echoed. You really want to see it? Of course, you don't dare, do you? Since you are so insistent, I will satisfy you. Just wait for me. In Qin Huan's opinion, since Ma Wenhao and the others insisted on being slapped in the face, then don't blame him for being rude. Having said that, there was no wasting time. After turning on the camera, he immediately took a picture of the entire room. Then, it was uploaded to the group. Wow, you really dare to upload it. When everyone in the group saw Qin Huan send out the video, at first, they were quite disdainful. However, after they clicked on the video and saw the content clearly, the next second, he was stunned on the spot. Hiss. This. Is this true or false? My god, isn't this too high-end and classy? I have to say. At this moment, they felt that Qin Huan's room was comparable to the standards of a 7-star hotel. Qin Huan, you didn't find this video on the internet, did you? Just at this moment, Ma Wenhao, after being shocked, couldn't help but question. You must have found it online. This room looks so familiar to me. It does look familiar. In my opinion, this is most likely the room in the 7-star hotel in Dubai. Yes, my cousin used to live there and sent me photos. They are exactly the same as this one. As soon as Ma Wenhao raised his question, several smart people jumped out immediately, seeing their very sure tone. To be honest, if Qin Huan wasn't very sure, he had just taken the photo himself. I guess he might actually believe their nonsense. However, Qin Huan himself was sure that it was obviously useless. The other people in the group actually believed them. Qin Huan, even if you want to show off, at least find someone no one else has seen. Yes. A 4-star hotel is fine. Why did you give it a 7-star rating? Besides, considering your family's financial situation, do you really think we don't know? Shame on you, how shameful. For a while, everyone in the group started to mock Qin Huan. Oh. Seeing this, Qin Huan couldn't help but sneered and said, I say, you guys really believe everything you hear. What do you mean by that? I think you won't give up until you see the Yellow River, and you won't cry until you see the coffin. Since you said that we believed everything we heard, then prove it to us. That is not necessary. Isn't that necessary? I don't think you can prove it. Okay, then you just keep waiting for me. To be honest, Qin Huan originally had no intention of getting entangled with them any further. But this group of people insisted on being so aggressive, so how could he not let them get what they wanted? Not long. Qin Huan posted another video. And this time, he even deliberately included himself in the video. Qin Huan, is this the only video you could find? Har, this is really making me laugh to death. In my opinion. Ma Wenhao just glanced at it without clicking on the video and was ready to start the mocking mode. However, he never expected that before he could finish typing the second sentence, the other people in the group who watched the video were instantly shocked. What the hell? What the hell? What the hell? Is this actually true? My dear uncle, he even appeared on camera. We had wrongly blamed Brother Huan before. That's right. Hey, it's all my fault for being too superficial before. I didn't expect Brother Huan to not be bragging. I don't know if you have noticed that Brother Huan seems to have become a lot more handsome. Obviously. Once this group of people confirmed that Qin Huan was not bragging, they even started to address Qin Huan as Brother Huan. Oh my god, what do you mean by this? I don't quite understand it. Ma Wenhao saw this scene. While confused, he quickly asked in the group. However, what he didn't expect was, the other people in the group seemed not to notice his problem. One by one, they all started to flatter Qin Huan. Brother Huan, this is all my fault, please don't hold it against me. Brother Huan, I'm also in the capital, can you give me a friend position? I want one too. By the way, Brother Huan, do you need a girlfriend? If so, what do you think of me? I have to say, the speed at which these people change their expressions is even faster than turning the pages of a book. How long has it been? The person they were trying to curry favor with actually became Qin Huan. And Ma Wenhao, who saw this scene, with an ugly look on his face, he immediately clicked on the video. He wanted to see why these people suddenly changed their attitude. However, after Ma Wenhao finished watching the content of the video, he collapsed on the bed with a look of frustration. How is that possible? How is this possible? Isn't Qin Huan very poor? Originally, Ma Wenhao was thinking about stepping on Qin Huan to show off his power. But who would have thought that this clown would actually be myself? As for Qin Huan, he already felt disgusted with these people, so how could he possibly give them friend status? Without thinking, I immediately quit the class group. And immediately, I set the setting to reject all friend requests. After doing all this, Qin Huan put down his phone and fell asleep on the bed. The next morning. Boom boom boom. Huan, are you awake? Li Mingyu knocked on Qin Huan's door and shouted inside. Woke up. Qin Huan heard the voice and responded immediately. Come out for breakfast when you wake up. Okay. After a while. After washing up, Qin Huan went straight to the restaurant door. What he didn't expect was all 7 sisters were waiting for him here. And the breakfast prepared is also very rich. Huan, good morning. When they saw Qin Huan appear, the sisters immediately greeted him. Morning, sisters. Qin Huan said, and immediately asked his question, Sisters, don't you have to go to work? Work? Why are you asking? Nothing. I just saw you guys waiting for me here so early in the morning. Qin Huan smiled slightly and said very seriously, if you need to go to work, you can actually eat first. Oh, so that's what you mean? After hearing this, the second sister Liu Shisher said immediately, don't worry, we will only wait for you for this day. After all, we still have to send you to school today, right? What? Take me to school? Are you coming with me? When Qin Huan heard this, his eyes almost popped out of his head. Chapter 16 Preparations before going to school. What else? The third sister Zhuang Meng curled her lips and said indifferently, this is your first time going to college. If the sisters don't send you off. If our mother knew about this, she would scold us to death, right? Besides, with us here to escort you, I believe no one will dare to bully you in school in the future. This. Qin Huan listened. He wanted to say something, but swallowed his words back in the end. In his opinion, the sisters were just worrying too much. He didn't think that there would still be people bullying others in college. Moreover, Qin Huan felt that it was a bit too conspicuous for his sisters to accompany him to school. After all, the sisters' looks and figures. It goes without saying that as long as they appear in school, they will definitely cause quite a stir. When he is in school, he will definitely be asked all kinds of questions by others. However, this was the good intention of the sisters, and it was difficult for Qin Huan to refuse. Okay, let's have breakfast. Seeing that Qin Huan had no objection, eldest sister Li Mingyu spoke immediately. After hearing this, everyone immediately prepared to start. What they didn't discover, however, was at this time, the fourth sister Xia Jinyang showed an expectant expression. Hiss. This. Oh my god. Isn't this so delicious? Everyone had just taken a bite of the fried dough sticks. The next second, his eyes lit up instantly. They never imagined that Xia Jinyang could make ordinary fried dough sticks so delicious. Fourth sister, did you add any seasoning to this fried dough stick? It's too delicious. Yes, the fried dough sticks you made before were delicious, but they were far inferior to this. Delicious. Really delicious. I think I can show off 3 big sticks of this. Fourth sister, tell me quickly, what did you add? Obviously. Everyone thought that the reason why the fried dough sticks were so delicious was that there must be something added to them. I didn't add anything, just a little salt. Xia Jinyang shrugged and said with a proud look on her face, as for why it's so delicious, I can only say that my cooking skills have improved. Just keep bragging, I don't believe your nonsense. After hearing this, Wen curled her lips and immediately scooped a small spoonful of the porridge in front of her. Didn't you say that your cooking skills have improved? Then I want to see if your white porridge is just as delicious. How can plain porridge taste good without adding anything to it? Do you really think she's a cooking god? Yes, this porridge looks like it has nothing in it. It would be strange if it tasted good. As soon as Wen said this, Li Mingyu and the other girls immediately echoed the sentiment. I have to say, it's not that they look down on Xia Jinyang's cooking skills. The main thing is the plain porridge. If you don't add anything else, it won't be delicious at all. And at the same time they said this, Wen on this side had already put the spoonful of white porridge into her mouth. Hiss. This. Oh my god. Is this true or false? White porridge can be made so delicious. Originally, Wen didn't take this white porridge seriously, but at this moment she fell in love with it instantly. How is it, Wen, is there no taste at all? That's what I said, this white porridge. Just when the girls were about to say something. Next second. But they were simply stunned. Wen picked up the porridge in front of her and drank it all in 2 or 3 gulps. And after eating, he even had an expression of being unsatisfied. Oh my god, what is Wen doing? She's making me hungry. How about we try it too? Okay. The women said. He immediately scooped a small spoonful of white porridge and put it into his mouth. This. How is this possible? This is too delicious, isn't it? For a moment, they seemed to have discovered a new world. How can I care about my image? She imitated what he Wen had done just now and drank up the big bowl of porridge in front of them. Well, now you know I'm not bragging, right? Seeing this, Xia Jinyang, who was standing by, couldn't help but say proudly. Fourth sister, I never expected that your cooking skills have improved so much in just one night. That's nothing. It will only get better in the future. Is this true or false? It has to be true. While saying this, Xia Jinyang did not forget to secretly glance at Qin Huan. If you look carefully, you can see it. The way she looked at Qin Huan was as if she was looking at some priceless treasure. More than 10 minutes later. After eating their fill, everyone went straight to the living room and sat down on the sofa. Huan, have you packed all your things? Li Mingyu crossed his legs and asked Qin Huan, who was not far away. It's all packed. Really? Then take your things down and we'll take you to school right away. Okay. Qin Huan nodded. The luggage was quickly brought down from the second floor. Okay, everyone, get ready to go. Li Mingyu said this and immediately led everyone to the parking lot. Looking at the dozens of high-end luxury cars in front of him, Li Mingyu said to Qin Huan, Huan, are you going to drive the one you drove yesterday, or change to another one? Change to another one. After hearing this, Qin Huan replied immediately. In his opinion, the poison car yesterday was too high profile. Okay, choose it yourself. Li Mingyu didn't say much, just stretched out his hand and prepared to let Qin Huan choose by himself. However, when Qin Huan approached these vehicles and saw the car logos on them, he was stunned. His original idea was to just pick a car worth a few $100,000. But who would have thought? All the cars in front of me are luxury cars. What Aston Martin, what Zonda, and so on. It's no exaggeration to say. The cheapest one among them costs at least tens of millions. What the hell is the difference between driving these and driving a Lamborghini Veneno? Huan, why don't you like it at all? Seeing Qin Huan standing there in a daze, Li Mingyu asked him. TSK, I told you guys I would buy Huan a helicopter a long time ago, but you guys didn't believe me. Now look what happened. Before Qin Huan could speak, Liu Shisha on the side curled her lips and said. Shut up, you're the only one who talks too much. After hearing this, Li Mingyu said unhappily. Obviously. At this time, the sisters all thought that Qin Huan felt that these vehicles were not high-end enough. And it was at this moment. Qin Huan came back to his senses, looked at Li Mingyu and asked, Sister, do you have a cheaper car? Like a Mercedes-Benz or a BMW, or even a Porsche? What kind of junk cars are those? He Wen, who was standing by, immediately guessed something, so she said to Qin Huan, Huan, don't you think these vehicles are too high profile? High profile. After hearing this, Li Mingyu was stunned at first. Then, he couldn't help but say calmly, the most expensive of these cars is only tens of millions, what's so high profile about it? Chapter 17 The Miserable Ma Wenhao. Well. When Qin Huan heard what his elder sister said, he immediately frowned. If driving a car worth tens of millions is not considered high profile. So what is high profile? How about this? Seeing that Qin Huan really couldn't make up his mind, Li Mingyu immediately suggested, why don't you drive the same car you drove yesterday? What do you think? Well, okay then. Seeing that this was the only option, Qin Huan finally agreed. 5 minutes later. 8 luxury cars worth tens of millions drove directly out of the manor. You know it without thinking. As long as Qin Huan and the others drive the car to the school, it will definitely cause a sensation. At the same time. At this time, the entrance to Qing University campus was already crowded with people. Students came from all over the country, some walking with their suitcases, some driving. Among them is Ma Wenhao, who drives a Porsche. After driving the car into the school, Ma Wenhao did not follow the main group into the campus. Instead, it stopped directly next to the campus gate. There are mainly 2 reasons why he did this. The first reason is that he wants to make some friends through his luxury car. As for these so-called friends, apart from some pretty girls. More importantly, I hope to make friends with some rich second generations or powerful people. And this This was also what his father had specifically told him before he left. As for why I asked him to do so, as the son of a businessman, how could Ma Wenhao not understand? This is obviously a preparation for him to take over the family property after graduation. As for the second reason, it is actually very simple. You know, last night Ma Wenhao was overshadowed by Qin Huan in the group. To be honest, even now, he still suspected that the video Qin Huan sent was most likely edited and synthesized. So he just wanted to see whether Qin Huan came to school today on foot or by car. If he walked, then his suspicions were proven correct. When the time comes, I will have to step forward and humiliate him severely. And it was shortly after Ma Wenhao stopped the car. A girl with a very good appearance actually came to his car. Boom boom boom. The girl knocked on the car window a few times, and Ma Wenhao quickly lowered the window. In his opinion, the girl must have wanted to strike up a conversation with him because he was driving a luxury car. So, he blew his bangs and asked the girl, "What do you want to talk to me about?" Are you the new student who is here to register today?" The girl smiled slightly and did not answer Ma Wenhao, but asked back. "Yes." Ma Wenhao replied. After hearing his answer, the smile on the girl's face seemed to become even more intense. Just when Ma Wenhao thought that the girl would ask him for his WeChat ID in the next second. But what the girl said next almost made him stumble and fall to the ground. "It's like this." The girl took out a notebook from somewhere and said to him, "I'm a junior in our school. I'm responsible for applying for campus mobile phone cards for freshmen. Do you need one?" "What? Apply for a mobile phone card?" Hearing the girl say this, Ma Wenhao's expression, which was very proud just now, instantly turned the color of liver. He quickly waved his hand and refused, saying, "Sorry, no need." "Oh well." After hearing this, the girl was disappointed and couldn't help but muttered, "I didn't expect that he would be so stingy even though he drives a luxury car. He must have rented it." "What the hell, what did you say?" Although the girl's muttering was not loud, Ma Wenhao still heard it. "He said that he rented the car. How could he bear it?" "No. I didn't say anything." The girl shook her head and prepared to leave immediately. "Wait a minute." But at this moment, Ma Wenhao called her. "Why, do you have anything else to do?" The girl asked. "Aren't you the one who handles campus mobile phone cards? Then get me one, no, get me 10. In Ma Wenhao's opinion, he had just entered school. How embarrassing would it be if he was looked down upon by others? Really? When the girl heard what he said, her eyes lit up again. As for Ma Wenhao's 10 mobile phone cards, can he use them all? To be honest, this is really not within her scope of concern. Of course it's true. Ma Wenhao curled his lips and said lightly, "Okay, give me the money." The girl stretched out her hand and said excitedly, "Take the money." Seeing this, Ma Wenhao couldn't help but ask in confusion, "Isn't this thing free to apply for?" "The card is free, but to activate it you need to top up 100 yuan. "Oh, is that so?" Ma Wenhao didn't think much about it. He immediately took out 100 yuan from his wallet and handed it to the girl. "That is a $100 bill." After seeing this, the girl explained. "What? $100 apiece?" When Ma Wenhao heard this, he immediately became angry. "Why don't you go and rob it?" In his opinion, this girl probably regarded him as a great enemy. Although 1,000 yuan is not a lot of money for him, he is still somewhat reluctant to spend it. "How can you talk like that? Didn't you say you wanted to get 10? After hearing this, the girl immediately retorted, "Besides, since you can't come up with that much money, why were you pretending just now?" "Fuck, who said I was pretending? I was just taking care of your business because I felt sorry for you, okay? Look at me with pity, but I think you are the one who is pitiful, right? You rented a car to come to school, you are so vain. You. That's all." As they talked, they started arguing. The commotion on their side quickly attracted a large crowd of onlookers. When the onlookers learned what had happened, next second, they all started to criticize Ma Wenhao. "I say, you have no money, why are you trying to show off like others?" Yeah, no wonder the senior is angry. "If you can't even come up with $1,000, why are you pretending to want 10? I'm really impressed. There really are all kinds of people. You." Faced with everyone's sarcasm and ridicule, Ma Wenhao was almost pissed off. To be honest, if he hadn't forgotten the car purchase contract at home, he would have slammed it in these people's faces. Humph, isn't it just $1,000? I'll give it to you. Seeing more and more people gathering around, Ma Wenhao had no choice but to grit his teeth and give the 1,000 yuan to the girl. Wait until everyone has dispersed. He also blamed all the humiliation on Qin Huan. After all, in his opinion, if he wasn't waiting for Qin Huan, how could he have gotten into this situation? Qin Huan, just wait for me. Chapter 18: The Principal's Important Person. At the same time, Ma Wenhao was thinking about these things secretly. What no one expected was, at this time, Liu Guodao, the president of Qing University, actually came trotting towards the school gate with a large group of school leaders. Oh my god, that seems to be our principal, right? It seems to be true. I have seen him online before, but I didn't expect to meet him in person today. By the way, what is he planning to do? And those people behind him, they should all be the school leaders, right? As soon as Liu Guodao and others appeared, they were immediately recognized by passing students. I saw that they were running towards the school gate. A student immediately speculated, in my opinion, maybe some important person is coming, otherwise why would they be so anxious? That's right, he's even jogging. TSK TSK TSK. I wonder what kind of big shot he is. He actually made Principal Liu and his men come to greet him in person. Just as the students were discussing in low voices, Liu Guodao and his group finally arrived at the school gate. Principal, why are you here? The security captain who was patrolling at the door saw Liu Guodao and others appear and hurried to greet them. Nothing, there will be several important people coming to school later, I have to bring people to greet them in person. Liu Guodao did not give any further explanation. After saying this, he immediately looked out the door with eager eyes. Important person. Could it be that some big shot from the Ministry of Education is coming? After hearing this, the security captain couldn't help but think so. After all, in his opinion, those were probably the only people who could make Liu Guodao come to greet him personally. That's all. Liu Guodao and his group began to wait anxiously. As for the students coming and going, I am very curious about who the important person Liu Guodao mentioned is. So, they all gathered here to watch. About 4 or 5 minutes later, a Rolls-Royce appeared right in front of everyone. Just as the students were exclaiming how cool this car was, the Rolls-Royce stopped directly in front of Liu Guodao and others. Oh my god! Could it be that the person in this car is the big boss that the principal and the others are waiting for? The students around saw this and immediately thought so. And it was at this moment, a handsomely dressed boy got out of the car. Uncle Liu, why are you here? The boy had just got off the car and hurriedly came to Liu Guodao in fear and trepidation. Wow, isn't this boy so handsome? He calls the principal Uncle Liu. Could he be some junior of the principal? That shouldn't be the case. He's just a junior. How could the principal personally bring people to greet him? What's impossible? Maybe he has a strong family background. Yes, I think you are just jealous of him. This. The crowd around were all shocked after seeing the man's appearance. The boys were okay, at most they just made a few comments. As for many girls, they directly become crazy about them. In their opinion, such a handsome, rich, and powerful boy. Isn't he the Prince Charming of their dreams? That's when girls think about how to approach this guy. Next second, Liu Guodao's words almost made them stumble and fall to the ground. Who are you? Liu Guodao looked Li Wen up and down and asked with a frown. Oh my god, is this true? The principal doesn't even know him. How is this possible? His behavior just now clearly shows that he is very familiar with the principal. When the girls saw this situation, they were immediately confused. Har, the principal doesn't even know him, and you still think the principal is waiting for him. I am dying of laughter. Now you won't say that this guy has a powerful background anymore, right? What a ridiculous background. I think he is just trying to show off his presence in front of the principal. For a moment, the boys, who had been speechless before due to the girls' criticism, immediately started to mock them. Humph, even if the principal doesn't know him, that doesn't prove that he has no background, right? That's right. Don't forget, he came here in a Rolls-Royce. When the girls heard this, they immediately said it stiffly. Even if he came in a Rolls-Royce, it doesn't mean that the principal was waiting for him, right? You? The girls wanted to say something, but they couldn't refute it at all. After all, judging from the principal's performance just now, it was obvious that he was not waiting for this person. Uncle Liu, I'm Li Wen. Li Wen didn't expect that Liu Guodao had actually forgotten him. So, he quickly reminded him. Li Wen. After hearing this, Liu Guodao pondered for a moment. Then, he suddenly realized and said, "Oh, I remember now, you are the boy from Li Jianming's family, right?" What? Li Jianming? Shit, is he that the richest man in China? Oh my god. This guy is actually the son of China's richest man. Hearing Liu Guotao's words, all the onlookers present were stunned. Yes, I went to your house a few years ago and wished you a happy new year. Of course, you really made Jianming proud. Liu Guodao patted his shoulder and said to him, "Go in first, we'll talk later when we have time." Okay. Li Wen didn't say anything, nodded, and drove the car directly into the school. At the same time, there were also quite a few girls who followed quietly. As for the rest of the people, they wanted to see who the principal was waiting for. That's all. I waited for about another 4 or 5 minutes. A Mercedes-Benz stopped directly in front of Liu Guodao and his group. "Lao Liu, what are you doing here?" Soon, a middle-aged man got out of the car and greeted Liu Guodao and asked. Judging from his temperament, you can tell at first glance that he is not an ordinary person. Director Wang. When he saw the person coming, Liu Guodao hurried forward and shook hands with him. Director Wang? Could this be the important person the principal is waiting for? Just when all the onlookers were thinking so. Next second. But Liu Guodao continued, "Nothing, we are waiting for someone here." After saying, he did not forget to instruct one of the people behind him, "Director Sun, please take Director Wang to my office first." Okay. Director Sun nodded and immediately took Director Wang away. Obviously. Even though Director Wang's identity seems to be very complicated. But the person Liu Guodao was waiting for was still not him. This also made the onlookers present even more curious about the so-called important person. Certainly. This naturally includes Ma Wenhao. In his opinion, how great a person must this be to make Liu Guodao pay so much attention to him? If possible, he must find an opportunity to make some good friends. Chapter 19, Qin Huan and others make a grand appearance. Time flies. In the blink of an eye, another 10 minutes passed. Just when everyone was getting a little sleepy from waiting, Qin Huan and his convoy finally arrived at the school gate. Oh my god, what's going on? Why are there so many luxury cars all of a sudden? Lamborghini Veneno. Aston Martin. Son of the Wind. My dear uncle, have you disturbed the nest of luxury cars? Everyone, look at that beautiful lady in the Ferrari LaFerrari. Isn't she too beautiful? It is indeed beautiful. Could this also be a new student? As soon as Qin Huan and his group appeared, they immediately attracted everyone present. Everyone who had been feeling a little sleepy just now suddenly became alert. And it was at this moment. Li Mingyu, who was driving in the front, stopped the car directly in front of Liu Guodao. Oh my god! Could it be that the principal is waiting for them? When everyone saw this, they immediately thought so. And things happened just as they thought. Li Mingyu had just stepped out of the car when Liu Guodao hurried over with his men to greet her. Mingyu, welcome. Principal, what are you doing? Li Mingyu looked at the scene in front of him and asked in confusion. Har, we're here to pick you up. Liu Guodao laughed and stretched out his hand to Li Mingyu. Pick us up. While shaking hands, Li Mingyu couldn't help but smile bitterly and said, My old principal, didn't I tell you a long time ago that I was only here to see my brother off? You're exaggerating. What an exaggeration. Liu Guodao waved his hand and said seriously, let's not talk about it first. You are an honorary alumnus of our school. Given your contribution to the school over the years, it is only natural for us to come pick you up. What? Honorary alumni? Is this true or false? Such a beautiful girl is actually our senior. When everyone present heard this, their eyes widened. Originally, they were a little confused as to why Principal Liu Guodao brought people to greet them in person. But now, they have figured it out. You know, Qingdao University has been established for more than 100 years since 1911. There are at least millions of graduates. However, there are only less than 100 people who have been awarded the title of honorary alumni. More than half of them have already passed away. Suddenly, there appeared such a person in front of me, and she was so young and beautiful. How could this not be surprising? By the way, where's your brother? At this time, Liu Guodao asked Li Mingyu. Still in the car. Li Mingyu said, turning around and shouting to the vehicles behind him, come out. As soon as their words fell, Qin Huan and his companions opened their respective car doors amid everyone's expectation. Hiss. This. Oh my god. Is this true or false? So many beauties. As soon as Qin Huan and his group appeared, the onlookers present were stunned. They never expected it. Among these luxury cars in front of him, there was only one boy except Qin Huan. The others were all beauties. Moreover, these beauties are not only very beautiful, but also have temperaments that are unmatched by ordinary people. Fuck. Look everyone, that looks like Liu Shisha, right? Liu Shisha. Oh my god, it's really her. My goddess, she's here too. Everyone felt that these beauties were already stunning enough. But who would have thought? Superstar Liu Shisha is actually among these beauties. How is that possible? How is this possible? Why would this kid Qin Huan appear among them? And the car he was driving was actually a Lamborghini Veneno. At this moment, everyone's focus was on Liu Shisha and the others. Only Ma Wenhao, who was not far away, was staring at Qin Huan in shock. He really couldn't understand it. Qin Huan was obviously a poor guy before, how come he suddenly became so unattainable? It's no exaggeration to say. Even his father Ma Guangwu couldn't own a luxury car like the Lamborghini Veneno. You have to know that this thing can't be bought just by having money. That requires status and position. After all, there are only 3 of these cars in the whole of China. I give up. Completely convinced. For a moment, Ma Wenhao, who had been thinking about mocking Qin Huan, suddenly looked depressed. With such a shabby Porsche, how could he have the right to mock others? Come, let me introduce you. After Qin Huan and others came over, Li Mingyu immediately introduced Liu Guodao and others to Qin Huan and others. Afterwards, Li Mingyu pointed at Liu Shisha and introduced her to Liu Guodao and the others. Principal, this is my second sister Liu Shisha, who works in the entertainment industry. Har har, we meet. Liu Guodao and the others laughed and immediately acknowledged each other. Next, Li Mingyu then introduced the remaining sisters. And when everyone present listened to Li Mingyu's introduction, not only Liu Guodao and the others in front of him were shocked beyond words. The same goes for the onlookers around. They never expected it. These girls in front of me are not only very beautiful. Even achievement is so unattainable. Certainly. When Li Mingyu introduced Xie Jinxi, she only said that she was serving in a mysterious force, and did not go into too much detail. Because she knew very well that if Xie Jinxi's identity was accidentally revealed, the barbarians on the border would most likely launch a large-scale attack. As for whether others can recognize Xie Jinxi by her appearance, you can rest assured about this. You know, during these years at the frontier, except for a few confidants around her, no one else has ever seen what Xie Jinxi looks like. Because no matter what occasion she is in, she always wears a silver mask. By the way, this is my brother Qin Huan. After introducing all the sisters, Li Mingyu focused on introducing Qin Huan to Liu Guodao and others. Yes, he is indeed a handsome man. Liu Guodao looked at Qin Huan carefully and couldn't help but speak with admiration. Thank you for the compliment, Principal. Qin Huan scratched his head and said embarrassedly. How about we go in now? Seeing that more and more students were gathering around, Liu Guodao immediately made a suggestion to Li Mingyu and the others. Okay, Principal, are you going to ride in our car together? No need. Liu Guodao waved his hand and said with a smile, we can just walk in. It's only a few steps away anyway. That's fine. Li Mingyu didn't force it. After nodding, he immediately took Qin Huan and the others back to the car. Accompanied by the sound of accelerators, they quickly disappeared at the school gate. Chapter 20 The Bounty of the For Campus Bells. And after Liu Guodao and the others left, everyone present, except Ma Wenhao, was trying to find out which department Qin Huan was from. I believe you know what the girls are planning without even thinking about it. As for the boys, of course, they wanted to build a good relationship with Qin Huan. Maybe one day they could even become Qin Huan's brother-in-law. At this time, in the Qinghai University Forum, There are hundreds of posts on 3 pages, and they are all related to Qin Huan and others. Shocked, the honorary alumnus arrived, and the principal brought people to greet him in person. Shocked. Superstar Liu Shisha suddenly showed up at our school. Shocking, 7 beauties and 1 handsome guy, actually in broad daylight. The whole school is begging for the department Qin Huan belongs to. If anyone can tell us, we will reward you handsomely. I have to say. From these posts, we can see that students from Qing University visit UC quite often. If I graduate, I will go straight into the UC shock department. Certainly. While posting, they also uploaded a lot of photos. That's why. The students who were browsing the forum were instantly attracted to it. At this time, in a girls' dormitory. Oh my god, Liu Shisha is coming to our school. As a girl screamed, the other girls in the dormitory hurriedly looked towards her. Is this true? Don't fool me. Isn't she currently filming a movie? Can she come to our school when she has time? Just keep talking nonsense, we don't believe you. Obviously. The girls didn't believe what she said at all. Actually, this is normal. You know, as a superstar, Liu Shisha will always be the first to make headlines for any new drama she has. And everyone in this dormitory is a fan of Liu Shisha. They still have some understanding of their idol's schedule. You don't believe it, right? Then see for yourself. The girl said this and immediately pointed her phone at them. Is this true or false? Seeing that she didn't seem to be joking, her roommates curled their lips and moved their heads closer. Fuck. This is actually true. Oh my god, my idol is coming to our school. Originally, they were a little skeptical about this. But when they actually saw the photos on the phone, they immediately jumped up with excitement. Look where she is now. I want to take a picture with her. Yes, take a look. Several people were talking. Before the girl could react, he snatched the phone and started browsing the forum. Fuck, why are there so many posts? And who is this Qin Huan? There are so many bounties on him. 30,000 yuan to ask for the department where freshman Qin Huan is? Is this true? Oh my god, look at the person who posted this, it's actually our department's most beautiful girl, Jiangshan. They originally wanted to see if they could find Liu Shisha's current location on the forum. But what they didn't expect was, most of the posts on the forum were actually offering rewards for Qin Huan. What shocked them even more was that, among those who posted, there was even the most beautiful girl in their department. You know, since Jiangshan entered Qing University, she has had countless suitors. However, she has always been aloof and has never paid attention to anyone. Now that such a post is suddenly released, how could they not be surprised? TSK, what's that? Look who is the person who is asking for information for 100,000 yuan. Who is it? What the hell, Zhang Wenjing? Oh my god, what the hell is going on here? It's not just Zhang Wenjing, take a look at these 3 posts. Wang Zishuan? Tang Tiantian? Oh my god, Li Meng'a, a common school beauty, actually has a reward of 1,000 yuan. This is crazy, really crazy. Who on earth is this Qin Huan? Why are the 4 most beautiful girls in our school all offering a bounty on him? I thought the shock would end here. But who would have thought that this was just the beginning? Next second. The 4 most handsome boys in the school actually all offered a reward for Qin Huan. And the words in the post are implicit and implicit. All of them revealed that they wanted to curry favor with him. Oh my god, is this true? It's okay for girls, but why are they offering a reward for boys too? With this attitude, why do I feel like I'm just a dog licker? I never expected that the school idol that I've had a crush on for so long would actually. It was at this time that these girls began to doubt their lives. Other people in the school who were browsing the forum were not much better. Everyone's eyes widened as if they had seen a ghost. 10 minutes later. Anyone who has read these posts, including mentors and professors, without exception, they all rushed towards the playground. Just because someone broke the news on the forum. Qin Huan and his group have arrived at the school playground. In the blink of an eye. The playground, which was empty just now, was instantly filled with tens of thousands of people. And judging from the situation, the number seems to be increasing. Oh my god, it's really Liu Shisha. I didn't expect she would really come to our school. There are so many beauties here. They look prettier than the 4 most beautiful girls in our school. That tall and handsome boy must be the Qin Huan who was wanted in the forum, right? Wow, no wonder he's wanted by the four most beautiful girls on campus at the same time. Who wouldn't love such a handsome guy? As soon as everyone arrived at the playground, they couldn't help but start talking. Liu Guodao and others who were strolling with Qin Huan and others were shocked when they saw this scene. I wanted to disperse everyone, but the scene was too noisy. For safety reasons, Liu Guodao had no choice but to rush Qin Huan and others to the faculty and staff office area. Huan, it seems that you will have to wear a mask when you go out at school like your second sister. As soon as they arrived at the office area, Li Mingyu said to Qin Huan jokingly. This. After hearing this, Qin Huan's forehead was filled with black lines. In fact, he really wanted to say, if it weren't for the sisters who insisted on seeing him off. How could such a scene possibly occur? You know it without thinking. Just looking at this scene, no matter where he goes in school in the future, there will definitely be people who come to try to establish a relationship with him. Certainly. The sisters all meant well, so Qin Huan naturally didn't have much to say. Mingyu, I was planning to take you to show Huan her dorm, but now I'm afraid there's no way. Just at this moment, Liu Guodao, who was walking in front, turned around and said to Li Mingyu with a wry smile. It's okay, principal. My Huan can just stay at home. It's not far away anyway. After hearing this, Li Mingyu immediately replied with a smile. Yes, the dormitory is so uncomfortable, it's better to live at home. If Huan is afraid of traffic jams when going to school, I have already booked a helicopter for him. Helicopters are so unsafe, I'd better just buy an apartment off campus. That's fine, but I have to pay for it. What do you mean by that? This is my suggestion, okay? What is unexpected is. As soon as Li Mingyu said this, the other sisters immediately started arguing with each other. Liu Guodao and others who saw this scene almost stumbled and fell to the ground. They have seen arrogant people before. But this is the first time I've seen someone as domineering as Liu Shisha and the others. Just ask for a helicopter and an apartment. To be honest, even people of their status felt envious of Qin Huan. And they really want to ask, where are there other sisters like this? Please give them a dozen. Chapter 21. Donate 100 million to the school. Sisters, please stop arguing. Seeing that the sisters were arguing more and more fiercely, Qin Huan on the side hurriedly stopped them and said, actually, I still want to live in school. What? You want to live in school? That won't do. How long will it take for the sisters to see you? Yes, I won't agree to it anyway. I don't agree either. Qin Huan had just said this. The sisters who had been arguing fiercely just now immediately united. One by one, they turned to look at Qin Huan and spoke out in firm opposition. Qin Huan saw this. While smiling bitterly, he was about to say something. Fortunately, at this moment, Liu Guodao took the initiative to say, since Huan wants to live in the school, then I can just arrange a separate dormitory for him. It's up to him whether he wants to live here or not. Do you think this is okay? After Liu Guodao finished speaking, he just looked at Li Mingyu and the others, waiting for their answers. Well, okay then. After the sisters looked at each other, they finally agreed. However, Li Mingyu still did not forget to tell Qin Huan, Huan, the sisters have no objection to you living in the school at other times, but after class in the evening, you must go home, do you hear me? This okay? Qin Huan actually wanted to say, this doesn't seem to be much different from before, right? Seeing Qin Huan nod, Li Mingyu turned around and said to Liu Guodao, Principal, we definitely can't go shopping today. If there's nothing else, I plan to take Huan to pay the fee. No need to bother. After hearing this, Liu Guodao waved his hand and shouted to someone behind him, Director Zhu, come here. Okay. Director Zhu heard the shouting and hurried over. So. Liu Guodao looked at Director Zhu and said to him, you will handle all the procedures for Huan's admission as soon as possible. Is there any problem? Of course. Director Zhu smiled slightly, turned around and asked Li Mingyu, which department is Huan from? Finance. No problem, I'll take care of it. Then I'll transfer the money to you. As Li Mingyu spoke, he immediately took out his cell phone and prepared to transfer the money to Director Zhu. There's no rush for this. Director Zhu waved his hand and said, I don't know the exact amount yet. I'll let the principal know when the calculation is done. Oh well. Li Mingyu said, and then looked at Chen Guodao. Principal, I plan to donate 100 million to the school, what do you think? What? What did she say? Donate 100 million? Oh my dear uncle, am I hallucinating? As soon as Li Mingyu said this, everyone present, including Qin Huan, suddenly widened their eyes. Quiet. So quiet. For a moment, you could hear a pin drop. Mingyu, how much did you say just now? After a long time, Chen Guodao came back to his senses and asked Li Mingyu in shock. 100 million. Li Mingyu smiled slightly and said calmly, however, I have a request, I wonder if you can agree to it, principal. You say? To be honest. Not to mention one request, even if it's 10 requests. As long as it does not violate the regulations, Liu Guodao will definitely agree without thinking. After all, this is 100 million. Even for a prestigious school like theirs, that's not a small amount. It's like this. Li Mingyu did not beat around the bush and got straight to the point. First of all, the 100 million I donated can only be used to build the school library and other public places. And my only request is that the name of the constructed place must be after my daughter Huan's name. If you agree, I can transfer the money to you now. When Li Mingyu said this. After a pause, he continued, of course, if you disagree, I will still donate 10 million. What does arrogance mean? This is it. This. I don't have any opinion on it. After hearing this, Liu Guodao turned around and looked at the other leaders present. What about you? I have no objection, you make the decision, principal. Same, support the principal's decision. Me too. Obviously. It's just a name. Compared to a donation of 100 million yuan, how could they have any objection? Okay then, since no one has any objections, I'll collect the money for the school first. Seeing that no one had any objection, the principal slowly took out his cell phone. And Li Mingyu did not waste any time. As soon as WeChat was opened, 100 million was directly transferred to Liu Guodao's account. Mingyu, you donated so much money, how about we hold a commendation meeting for you tomorrow? As soon as the money arrived, Liu Guodao said to Li Mingyu. No. Li Mingyu waved his hand and immediately refused. Let's open one. Seeing this, Liu Guodao could not help but persuade them, with so much donation, we have to let the students know who the kind-hearted people are. This. Li Mingyu listened. After thinking for a moment, he suggested, Principal, how about this? Isn't the school going to hold a welcome meeting for freshmen the day after tomorrow? When the time comes, you can just say that this is the 100 million donated by my Huan. What do you think? Qin Huan, who was standing by, heard this. Before the principal could speak, she said, Sister, this won't do. This money was obviously donated by you. What's wrong with that? Li Mingyu looked at Qin Huan and said seriously, Sister's money is your money. Do you understand? This. Qin Huan wanted to say something. Chen Guodao, who was standing by, reached out and patted him on the shoulder. Okay, don't refuse. This is also a token of your elder sister's love. Well, okay then. Seeing what the principal said, Qin Huan could only smile bitterly and nodded. Principal, if there's nothing else, we'll go back now. Li Mingyu didn't want to continue disturbing Liu Guodao and the others. After all, today was the first day of school, and they must have a lot of things to do. Okay. Liu Guodao didn't try to persuade him to stay. After nodding, he did not forget to tell Qin Huan, Huan, remember to come to school at 8 o'clock in the morning 2 days later to attend the freshman welcome meeting. Okay, principal. That's all. After saying goodbye to the principal and others, Qin Huan and his companions drove the car directly back to the manor. Chapter 22, Liu Shisha provoked. And just as they returned to the manor, a report about Liu Shisha sending her younger brother to Qing University quickly made the front page headlines of major platforms. To be honest, generally speaking, only fans are interested in this kind of news. However, this time, what was unexpected was there are actually some guys with ulterior motives who brought everything to the surface. The first to be affected is Jusha Music, the #1 music company in China. You know, ever since Liu Shisha founded Angel Media Company, not only has it signed many talented actors in just 3 years, it increased the company's market value by hundreds of times, and made it one of the top 3 companies in China. Moreover, in recent times, it has signed contracts with singers frequently. Faced with this situation, As the number one in the music industry, Jusha Music also feels an unprecedented crisis. In their opinion, Liu Shisha's intervention in the music industry is obviously an attempt to snatch away their cake. So when they saw the news, the first thought that came to his mind was to step on Liu Shisha, the boss of Angel Media Company. Certainly. By the way, it is also necessary to take advantage of the popularity and support one of the top stars, Chen Shaoquan. Not long. This was at the same time that Jusha Music released this content. Chen Shaoquan, one of the top artists under his company, immediately reposted it on his Weibo. And shamelessly, he added a paragraph of text, "Thank you for the compliment from the company. Although I have worked very hard in the past 2.5 years, I still want to say that this song is worth it." What is yin and yang? This is called yin and yang. The news about Liu Shisha had just made headlines when Giant Stone Music and Chen Shaoquan sent out such a meaningful Weibo post. I believe that anyone with a discerning eye can see who these so-called people in a higher position are. Isn't this just saying that Liu Shisha, as a queen, has no ambition to make progress and only knows how to send her younger brother to school? But Chen Shaoquan spent 2.5 years working hard to produce a new single? I have to say, as a top star of the new generation, Chen Shaoquan may be a little arrogant, but his influence is indeed extraordinary. It was less than 3 minutes after he posted this Weibo. The number of comments below has exceeded 1,000. And the number of comments seems to be constantly rising. Wow, is my brother going to release a new single? I'm so excited. My brother works so hard. I feel so bad for him. He must make sure to get enough rest. Speaking of the so-called higher-ranking person of Baby Boulder, it should be LSS, right? Don't mention her. Be careful that she bullies our brother. I have never liked her. Me too, me too. As the comments continue to increase, 7 or 8 entries containing Chen Shaoquan ranked among the top 20 hot searches on Weibo in the blink of an eye. The top 2 entries are, Chen Shaoquan was named the most dedicated artist, and Chen Shaoquan's new single Guinea is so beautiful. The most dedicated artist. Is this true or false? Who selected it? Is he more dedicated than my brother? My brother spends 3 hours memoizing his lines every day. When many Jamae saw this entry, he showed disdain at first, then clicked directly in. Oh shit. Aren't Jusha Music and Chen Shaoquan too mean? Isn't it obvious that Liu Shisha has no ambition to make progress? Or are these fans saying things that are too much? I have to say, even though they were not fans of Liu Shisha, they were still very angry after seeing the content of this entry. As for Liu Shisha's fans, there is no need to mention them. Everyone gnashed their teeth and started cursing Chen Shaoquan directly under his Weibo post. What the hell, you're actually trying to bully my Shisha? Do you really think being a top star is so great? You don't have any works, yet you dare to bully my Shisha? Who gave you the courage? I'm so angry. You actually said that my Shisha is unprofessional? Could it be that your brother is the one who held 30 concert tours in 1 year? As a top star, Chen Shaoquan has a huge fan base. But don't forget that Liu Shisha is a superstar. It only took a moment. The comments below this Weibo post have been completely dominated by Liu Shisha's fans. How could Chen Shaoquan's fans tolerate this scene? In the blink of an eye, fans of both sides started a fierce war of words. At the same time, inside the manor, Liu Shisha, who had just returned home and was sitting on the sofa, suddenly received a call from her agent. Hey, what do you want from me? Liu Shisha yawned and asked lazily to the person on the other end of the phone. Second miss, something bad has happened. However, in the next second, the agent's anxious voice was heard. Big deal. What big deal? After hearing this, Liu Shisha didn't agree at all. It's like this. When the agent saw her attitude, he quickly told her everything that had just happened on Weibo. Really? Okay, I got it. That's it? The agent thought that Liu Shisha would be very angry and anxious after learning about this situation. But who would have thought that the result would be such a nonchalant attitude? What else? Liu Shisha curled her lips and asked back. My dear lady, you have been bullied to such an extent, aren't you angry? Angry? Why should I be angry? Isn't it enough to just prove that I am dedicated to my job? When Liu Shisha said this, she did not forget to correct her agent and said, also, I am the second young lady, not the eldest young lady. Don't make any mistakes in the future. After hearing this, The agent's forehead was filled with black lines. She really couldn't understand why her boss was still in the mood to correct her at this time. He forced himself to suppress the urge in his heart to beat up Liu Shisha. Then he sighed and asked, "Prove that you are dedicated to your work." "How can you prove it?" "It's easy, just prove it with your work." Liu Shisha raised the corners of her mouth slightly, and couldn't help but say lightly, "Just use the work as proof." After hearing this, the agent was confused at first. Then, he immediately became excited. "Second miss, do you mean that you have prepared your work?" "Not yet, but there will be one soon." While Liu Shisha said this, she did not forget to glance at Qin Huan, who was not far away. In her opinion, as long as Qin Huan is there, Chen Xiaoquan's so-called single is a complete joke. Not now. Will it be there soon? Is this true or false? Why do I feel like it's not reliable at all? Just when the agent came to his senses and wanted to ask something, unexpectedly, Liu Shisha had already hung up the call. Chapter 23. Qin Huan was shocked. "Well, what did the boss say?" Yes, this is driving me crazy." "Sister Hong, what's with that expression on your face? Is there nothing the boss can do?" Seeing the agent coming over here, he put down his phone with a dazed look on his face. The top executives of Angel Media Company swarmed over immediately. From the expressions on their faces, you can tell how anxious they are at this moment. The agent opened his mouth, but didn't know whether to speak. "Sister Hong, please stop keeping us in suspense and just tell us now." Yes. Upon seeing this, the senior executives immediately urged, "It's like this." Sister Hong took a deep breath and then said slowly, "Second miss said that she would use her works to prove that she is very dedicated." "What? Prove it with your work? You mean the boss has already prepared his work to fight back? Is this true? Hasn't she been filming for the past year?" Yes, if she has a new work, how could we not know about it? Obviously. The senior executives were quite skeptical about Sister Hong's words. "I don't know about that." Sister Hong gave a bitter smile before continuing, "The second miss said that she really doesn't have any works now, but she will have some soon. It will be there soon." "What does this mean? Singing is not like cooking, how can it be that easy?" Yes. It takes at least 1 or 2 years to produce a good song. How can it be possible to produce 1 or 2 good songs? When the senior executives present heard this, they immediately expressed their thoughts. In their opinion, even if Liu Shisha is their boss, it is too unreliable. They didn't believe that Liu Shisha could have such a skill. After all, among them, there are several masters of writing lyrics and composing music. Even they couldn't guarantee that they could produce an excellent single in such a short time. How about this? I'll call Director Li right now and see if I can ask them for some photos. Just at this time, one of the senior executives made a proposal to everyone. "I think it's okay. After all, the boss has actually been in his crew for a year. As long as the photos are released, I don't believe that anyone would dare to say that the boss is not enterprising. What the hell, how could they possibly agree to that?" Yes. Director Li's movie is still under review. If you release the photos now, wouldn't that be a spoiler in advance? We have to give it a try, right? What if they agree? I think so. Just as these senior executives were discussing whether or not to go to the crew to discuss it, Liu Shisha here hung up the phone. Without saying anything, he ran directly to Qin Huan and asked, Huan, are you okay now?" "It's okay." Qin Huan scratched his head and replied in confusion. I'm glad you're okay." Liu Shisha giggled and asked Qin Huan expectantly, "Now my second sister wants to ask you to do something. Are you willing?" "No, just tell me if you have something to say." Qin Huan waved his hand and spoke quickly. "It's like this." After hearing this, Liu Shisha was no longer polite. She immediately took out a piece of A4 paper from her pocket and handed it to Qin Huan. Huan, I want to record a video of you singing this song. Can you promise me?" "What? Sing? I can't." When Qin Huan heard this, he quickly retracted the hand he had just extended. "What do you know? I can teach you." Liu Shisha curled her lips and said lightly, "This is not necessary, right? I say, kid, you really don't know how to appreciate the blessings you have. Others want me to teach them, but I don't want to. I have to say." Liu Shisha is not bragging. After all, she is not just a superstar, she also won the title of most popular female singer in Chinese last year. It's no exaggeration to say. As long as she is willing, the number of people who want her to teach singing can probably go all around China. But although Qin Huan was very clear about this, he was still somewhat reluctant. It's nothing but a no. Is that settled? Regardless of Qin Huan's objection, Liu Shisha directly stuffed the A4 paper into his hand and said, "Come, take a look at the lyrics first." Well, okay then. Qin Huan had no choice but to open the paper reluctantly. "Sister, what are these? I can't understand them no matter how hard I try." However, what Qin Huan didn't expect was, when he opened the paper and saw the lyrics, he was stunned. Apart from the song title, which is fairly normal, the rest of the content is complete bullshit. What's so hard to understand? Isn't it written with the word exaggerated? I can understand this, but why do the lyrics look so messed up? Oh, you mean this? This is a Cantonese song, you definitely can't understand it. Then how can I sing? I'll teach you. Liu Shisha curled her lips and said calmly, "Come, I'll teach you a line, and you just sing along." A sheep is asking, "Oh, let's go." Just at the same time Liu Shisha sang this Cantonese lyrics. What shocked Qin Huan was, he had never heard a Cantonese song before, but he understood the meaning in the blink of an eye. It feels like suddenly mastering a language. And what made him feel even more strange was, it seemed that there was some more knowledge related to music theory in his mind. Oh shit. Is this true or false? When did I get this talent? Is this an illusion? Just as Qin Huan was thinking this, what he didn't realize was, at this moment, a sly smile flashed across Liu Shisha's face inadvertently. How is it, Huan, isn't it simple? This it really feels like that. He, can you also sing the line I just sang? Liu Shisha looked at Qin Huan and said expectantly. Don't know why? Qin Huan always felt that his second sister at this moment was like the big bad wolf luring Little Red Riding Hood. After a while, Qin Huan finally mustered up the courage to sing this line of lyrics. He thought he would definitely sing it haltingly. However, unexpectedly, not only did he sing very fluently, but his voice was also unexpectedly beautiful. Could it be that I really have a talent for this? Not bad. Liu Shisha, who was standing by, was very satisfied after hearing this and continued, "Come on, let's continue with the second sentence." But Saya Sheep is coming, okay wait. Oh my god. What is going on? It was the next second after Liu Shisha sang the second sentence. Qin Huan, who had just been listening carefully, suddenly widened his eyes. He could clearly feel it. Liu Shisha's singing skills when she sang this second sentence were obviously several levels higher than when she sang the first sentence. Chapter 24 Liu Shisha's Fatal Counterattack. Why are you still standing there? It's your turn. Seeing Qin Huan standing there in a daze, Liu Shisha urged him. Oh well. Qin Huan came back to his senses and nodded. He immediately sang the second line of the lyrics. Unexpectedly, Qin Huan's singing skills seemed to have improved a lot. Next, the third sentence. The fourth sentence. Until the last sentence is sung, Qin Huan could clearly feel that his and Liu Shisha's singing skills had reached an unattainable level. Second sister, have you noticed that both of our singing skills seem to have improved a lot? Qin Huan really couldn't help it, so he asked Liu Shisha. Really? Why didn't I notice it? Liu Shisha pretended to be ignorant and quickly changed the subject. By the way, Huan, I sang with you once, can you sing alone now? It should be possible. Qin Huan didn't hesitate too much and spoke confidently immediately. Okay then, it's up to you from now on. As Liu Shisha spoke, she immediately took out her cell phone and started filming. And Qin Huan did not waste any time. After moistening his throat, he started singing right away. I have to say, at this moment, Qin Huan's singing is probably not inferior to those musicians. In fact, it is even worse than before. That's why. The commotion here soon attracted the other sisters. Hiss. Oh my god. This song is so beautiful, isn't it? Not just you sisters. The maids were busy in the villa at this time. When he heard Qin Huan singing, he unconsciously stopped what he was doing. I was afraid that any noise would affect the beautiful singing. And after Qin Huan finished singing the song, The entire villa was first filled with deathly silence. Then, thunderous applause broke out instantly. It sounds good. It sounds really good. Huan Huan, I never thought you could sing so beautifully. That's awesome, Huan Huan. The sisters did not hesitate to give their praise. After applauding, he walked up to Qin Huan and started to flatter him. At the same time, after filming the video, Liu Shisha returned to her room immediately. You know it without thinking. The counterattack against Chen Shaoquan and Jusha music is about to begin. And just after Liu Shisha returned to the room, he directly posted this video of Qin Huan on his Weibo. Moreover, he added a meaningful paragraph: "Don't be afraid of trouble, don't cause trouble, real effort speaks with works, not words. Before I release my new album next Monday, everyone should enjoy the singing of my brother Qin Huan. P.S. I made this song by myself in less than 2 minutes. What is counterattack? This is it." Compared to those harmless curses, the content of Liu Shisha's Weibo post is obviously more infuriating. You know, Chen Shaoquan said in his previous Weibo that he will release a single next Monday. Now Liu Shisha said that she will also release an album next Monday, which is clearly a challenge to him. Putting aside the quality of the songs on both sides, just looking at the number of songs, the album is clearly better than the singles. More importantly, Liu Shisha also specifically emphasized that it took her less than 2 minutes to produce the song sung by Qin Huan. And what about Chen Shaoquan? It took 2.5 years. The difference is obvious. I believe that anyone who is not a fool can see the difference. And it was shortly after Liu Shisha posted this Weibo. Liu Shisha's fans who were cursing Chen Shaoquan on Weibo also quickly got the news. Sisters, stop cursing. It looks like our Shisha has updated her Weibo. Let's go check it out. Oh my god, it seems to be true. Come on, let's fight again later. Wait for me, I'm going too. In the blink of an eye, more than half of the people on Chen Shaoquan's Weibo just left. And Chen Shaoquan's fans who saw this scene. Naturally, there was no hesitation and he chased after him immediately. Wow, Shisha is finally going to release a new album. Har har har, that guy actually dared to say that my Shisha was not motivated to make progress. He got slapped in the face now, right? Album? Single? Har har har, this is killing me. Fans of Liu Shisha have just entered Liu Shisha's Weibo. My eyes were instantly attracted by the words above. In their opinion, this is so satisfying. As for Chen Shaoquan's fans who followed secretly, they were so angry that they gritted their teeth. Snort. I want to see what you created in these 2 minutes. That's all. Fans of both sides clicked on the video in the next second. You can say that. At the beginning, they really didn't take it seriously. After all, in their opinion, Qin Huan is not a singer at all, so how good can his singing be? Another thing is that even Liu Shisha's fans don't have much confidence in the song that was created in just 2 minutes. However, they soon discovered that things were not as simple as they had imagined. As soon as Qin Huan in the video opened his mouth, a heavenly sound came directly into their ears. Hiss. This. Oh my god. This song is so beautiful, isn't it? Everyone in front of the screen couldn't help but gasp. They never expected it. Not only does Qin Huan sing beautifully, but the quality of this song can only be described as divine. By the time the video was over, none of them were able to recover from the beautiful singing. Before you know it, all of them listened to it about 3 or 4 times. Not long after, the comments below Liu Shisha's Weibo post were all praise for Qin Huan and this song. Sisters, have you heard it? I am really shocked. That's right, I didn't expect my brother to sing so beautifully, I love it. Isn't this song called Exaggerated? The lyrics are so well written. I never expected that my brother speaks Cantonese so well. I am from Dongguan and I couldn't hear any flaws. It sounds great. Thumbs up to Shisha and her brother. I also want to say that her brother is really handsome. At the same time, Liu Shisha's fans were praising her crazily with comments. Chen Shaoquan's fans, however, were like deflated balls. And there are actually quite a few people among them. One person couldn't help but start praising it in the comments section. Sisters, I'm a fan of Qin Huan, and I have to admit that your Shisha is really amazing. I am also a fan of Qin Huan. To be honest, I really believed his lies at first and thought Shisha was really like what he said. I didn't expect. Oh, I'm no longer a fan. And me, even though I don't like Liu Shisha, I want to say that my younger brother is great, and I will only be a fan of my younger brother from now on. 3 years of loving Qin has come to an end. From now on, I will only be a fan of my younger brother. Me too, me too. What is unexpected is, at the beginning, there were only dozens of Qin fans who expressed their intention to stop being fans. But as more and more comments came in, the butterfly effect is gradually emerging. You know, these fans are not just talking. At this time, inside a practice room of Jusha music, Kunkan, something bad has happened, come over here and take a look. The agent looked at the declining number of fans on Weibo and hurriedly shouted anxiously to Chen Xiaoquan, who was playing with his mobile phone. What the hell are you looking at? I'm in the rankings. After hearing this, Chen Xiaoquan replied without even raising his head. Let's take a look. Your followers on Weibo have dropped by more than 3 million, and are still dropping rapidly. Oh no, it's already dropped by 4 million. Is this true? Don't fool me, please. Why would I fool you? Come and see for yourself. Shit, how is this possible? What on earth happened? Wait until Chen Xiaoquan comes. I discovered that his Weibo, which should have had 20 million followers, only had 12 million. One of them couldn't stand firmly and collapsed to the ground. Chapter 25: The Silence Before the Storm. The agent next to him saw this. Startled, he quickly helped Chen Xiaoquan up from the ground. Not long. The agent told Chen Xiaoquan everything that had just happened on Weibo. Chen Xiaoquan finally understood why his number of fans had dropped to this point. At the same time, he was thinking about how to use public relations to resolve this situation. The top executives of Jusha Music also received the news. They all rushed to the practice room as soon as possible. What should I do? Kunkan, your fan base has dropped so much. Hey, if I had known I wouldn't have stepped on Liu Shisha. Now it's really not worth it. Kunkan, what do you think we should do about this? As soon as the senior executives came in, they hurriedly asked Chen Xiaoquan. This. Chen Xiaoquan pondered for a moment before saying, there is only one way now. What method? The senior executives looked at Chen Xiaoquan and asked expectantly. First, post some photos or videos of me working hard in the practice room on Weibo. Chen Xiaoquan didn't keep the secret and said immediately, also, prepare a basketball and overalls for me. I can understand posting photos and videos, but what's the point of this basketball and dungarees? After hearing this, one of the senior executives asked in confusion. Just prepare yourself, and you will know when the time comes. It's not hard to find. When Chen Xiaoquan said this again, the confidence on his face was almost overflowing. In his opinion, what if Liu Shisha challenged him to a duel? He just didn't believe it. The single that I worked hard for 2.5 years to produce is actually inferior to Liu Shisha's album. As long as I beat Liu Shisha, I can have as many fans as I want, right? At the same time, the senior executives of Angel Media Company were already overjoyed at this moment. I really didn't expect this. Our boss is so amazing. That's right, it's unbelievable that he could write such a great song. He wrote a masterpiece in 2 minutes, and I was like, who else? I have to say, the boss's brother sings really well. While the senior executives were excited, they did not forget their main business. Sister Hong, the agent, quickly called Liu Shisha. She first praised Liu Shisha. Then, he immediately got to the point and asked, Second miss, is it true that you are releasing an album next Monday? Of course it's true. Liu Shisha affirmed and said calmly, I have prepared all 12 songs. I will come to the company to record them later. That's great. Sister Hong was so happy that she immediately asked tentatively, well, Second miss, can I ask how are the quality of your 12 songs? You know, in Sister Hong's opinion, the song Fukuer, sung by Qin Huan just now is definitely the most perfect work in the past 2 years, no doubt about it. If Liu Shisha's 12 songs were all of this quality, it is conceivable that she will definitely be invincible in the singer circle in the future. They are similar to the song my brother sang. Liu Shisha raised the corners of her mouth slightly and replied confidently. Real. Upon hearing what Liu Shisha said, Sister Hong's heart couldn't help but beat several times in succession. It must be true, you will know it soon. Liu Shisha didn't say anything more and hung up the phone immediately. About an hour later, after saying hello to Qin Huan and the others, Liu Shisha quickly arrived at Angel Media Company. And after she handed the lyrics of more than a dozen songs to Sister Hong and the others, their eyes widened instantly. Is this real? Am I dreaming? My dear uncle, isn't this song Courage too good? And this song Invisible Wings almost made me cry. I have to say, even without the composer, these lyrics alone are enough to make it a masterpiece. Just as the senior executives were shocked by the lyrics, the manager, Sister Hong, immediately asked a question that everyone was looking forward to. Second miss, are these songs of yours really just created? Or, have you already prepared for this? As soon as Sister Hong asked this question, everyone immediately looked up at Liu Shisha. Of course it was just created. Liu Shisha curled her lips and said lightly. Then, can I ask, how long did it take you in total? It's not hard to find. When Sister Hong asked this question, her body seemed to tremble slightly. About half an hour. What? Half an hour? Is this true or false? Oh my god, half an hour isn't even enough time to write these lyrics? Miss, are you sure it only took half an hour? Sister Hong looked at Liu Shisha, took a deep breath and asked. Sure, is that hard? Oh shit. Is this difficult? Look, is this human language? When everyone heard what Liu Shisha said, they were immediately filled with black lines on their foreheads. In their opinion, if it is not difficult to write 12 songs of such high quality in half an hour, so what is difficult? Okay, there are only 2 days left until next Monday, let's hurry up and make the album. Liu Shisha didn't waste any more time. He immediately led everyone to a practice room. Time flies. In the blink of an eye, another 2 days have passed. During these 2 days, Liu Shisha stayed in the company and did not go home. As for Qin Huan, ever since that day when Liu Shisha taught me the song, the other sisters also did not leave him idle. During these 2 days, he did nothing but eat and sleep. The rest of the time, I either learned Chinese martial arts, or learned cooking and other skills. You can say that. Everything that the sisters knew was taught to him without reservation. And this also leads to. In just 2 days, Qin Huan has become a versatile person. Not only did the Chinese martial arts advance by leaps and bounds, but he could even break rocks with one punch. Even his cooking and other skills have reached a level that ordinary people cannot reach. To be honest, Qin Huan sometimes wondered if he was really gifted. Otherwise, how could it be so awesome? You know, when he was learning these skills, his sisters would only demonstrate them to him once at most. However, just this one time, he was able to understand and fully grasp it immediately. Take the Iron San Palm martial art that we learned yesterday morning. Qin Huan just watched his third sister Zhuang Mengmeng fight. Not only can he strike out immediately, but his power is no less than Zhuang Mengmeng. Just one punch. The pebble, as big as a bowl, was instantly broken into pieces. If this happened to a person, wouldn't he be punished with a box lunch? Chapter 26 Going to School by Helicopter. Certainly. What surprised Qin Huan the most was, while the sisters were teaching him these skills, it seemed that they themselves were also able to make qualitative improvements. That feeling is just like cheating. Qin Huan had also secretly inquired about it. But the sisters all avoided talking about this topic. Anyway, they wouldn't harm him, so Qin Huan finally didn't bother to ask any more questions. Early in the morning, after washing up, Qin Huan quickly arrived at the restaurant. At this time, except for the eldest sister Li Mingyu, all the other sisters were not in the restaurant. Qin Huan didn't ask any more questions. After having breakfast and saying hello to my elder sister, I immediately prepared to go to the parking lot. You know, today is the official opening day of school, and the first 2 days were just for registration. However, before Qin Huan could step out of the restaurant, the eldest sister Li Mingyu behind him called out to him, Huan, wait a minute. Sister, do you have anything else to do? Qin Huan turned around and asked Li Mingyu. You'll find out if you follow me. Li Mingyu didn't say much, and walked towards the back of the villa with Qin Huan. Not long. The two of them came to a large lawn behind the villa. Judging from the area, it is at least several dozen acres. Just when Qin Huan was a little confused as to why his elder sister brought him here, suddenly, a buzzing sound was heard from the sky not far away. When Qin Huan looked up, he found that it was actually a black helicopter. Sister, what's going on? Qin Huan turned to look at Li Mingyu and asked her. Here, your second sister bought this for you. She said you can ride it when you go to and from school. What? You bought it for me? When Qin Huan heard this, he quickly refused and said, "Big sister, why don't you just forget it? Don't you have so many cars at home? I can just drive to school. I can't make the decision on this." After hearing this, Li Mingyu immediately waved her hand and said, "This was bought for you by your second sister, not by me. And she said it's faster than driving to school. This is fast." Qin Huan couldn't help but smile bitterly when he heard this, "But I guess there's no place to park at school, right? Then you don't have to worry about it." But at this moment, the eldest sister Li Mingyu said something that shocked Qin Huan even more. "Your third sister has already discussed it with the principal yesterday. The school will prepare a piece of open space for you to park your helicopter." Oh shit. Is this true or false? Hearing Li Mingyu's words, Qin Huan almost stumbled and fell to the ground. He never expected it. Not only had the sisters bought a helicopter for him, they had even found a place to park it at school. "Sister, Qin Huan came back to his senses and wanted to say something. But at this moment, Li Mingyu interrupted him. "Okay, hurry over there, don't be late." Well, goodbye, big sister." Qin Huan said this, and after greeting Li Mingyu, he walked towards the helicopter not far away with a helpless look on his face. "Hello, young master." Just as Qin Huan was about to approach the helicopter, a man in uniform immediately came up to him. First, he shouted at him respectfully. Then, he reached out and pressed down Qin Huan's head, and took him to the helicopter. "Wait until everything is ready." The helicopter slowly rose into the sky while Qin Huan was feeling very nervous. "Young master, how do you feel now?" As they took off, the man who had brought him up earlier asked Qin Huan with concern. "Good. To be honest." For Qin Huan, who is a little afraid of heights, he is still a little scared at this moment. "That's good." The man pointed at the captain and introduced him to Qin Huan. "Young master, let me introduce you to your future captain. His name is Wang Meng, and he is a retired Special Forces soldier." "Young master, you can just call me Da Meng from now on." Captain Wang Meng did not look back, but simply said one sentence. "Okay." Qin Huan nodded and replied. "As for me." At this moment, the man pointed at himself again. "My name is Qian Wanqing, I'm your security officer, and I'm also a retired Special Forces soldier." Qian Wanqing. When Qin Huan heard what he said, he almost couldn't help laughing out loud. In his opinion, this name is too funny. "Har har har, you must think my name is interesting." As if he had seen through Qin Huan's thoughts, Qian Wanqing laughed and said, "When they were in the army, they liked to call me landlord. You can call me that in the future too. Landlord, har ha har ha." After hearing this, Qin Huan couldn't help but burst out laughing. I have to say, his name and nickname are really not wrong. "By the way, young master, do you know how long it will take us to get to your school?" "Have no idea." 10 minutes, just 10 minutes. "By the way, young master, do you know how much the plane that the second young lady bought for you cost?" "Have no idea." 300 million. 300 million. "By the way, young master, you know. I have to say, Qian Wanqing is just like a chatterbox. All the way down, he never stopped talking. If this guy hadn't told us in advance that he was a Special Forces soldier, Qin Huan might have really beaten him up. Fortunately, the helicopter is really fast. In just less than 10 minutes, they had arrived above Qingda University. "Oh my god, that looks like a helicopter, right?" "What are you talking about, you bastard? You filthy rascal. How am I a hooligan?" "Look for yourself, if that's not a helicopter, then what is it?" "Oh my god, it really looks like a helicopter. Everyone, look. There's a helicopter flying over our school." Qin Huan and his companions had just arrived above Qingda. The students who were preparing for a meeting on the playground immediately spotted them. One by one, they quickly looked up at them. "Oh my god, is this helicopter planning to land at our school?" "It should be. It looks like it's preparing to land." "Do you think the person sitting here is a student from our school?" "I think it's very likely, but I don't know who it is." "Why are you still standing there? Go and take a look." "Wait for me, I'm going too." When the helicopter flew to somewhere in the east, it actually began to slowly descend. Tens of thousands of students on the playground immediately trotted over there. The scene could only be described as spectacular. And just as everyone rushed over, The helicopter that Qin Huan and his crew were riding on finally landed in the designated area. What are you doing? You are not allowed to go there now. What is unexpected is, the students who rushed over were just about to approach the area where the helicopter was. Take a good look at who is sitting inside. Next second, a group of school security guards stood directly in front of them. Chapter 27, Thousands of people welcome, unprecedented. We are all students of Qing University, why are we not allowed to enter? Yes, you are being unreasonable, aren't you? We have to go in today, let's see what you can do. Seeing that their progress was blocked, how could the students present be willing to obey? One by one, the moment they spoke, they were ready to rush in. How dare you? However, at this moment, the school security captain immediately stood in front of them and said, I'm not afraid to tell you, this is the school's decision. If you insist on forcing your way in, don't blame me if you get fired. After the security captain said this, his eyes were fixed on the leaders present. When those people heard this, they immediately backed out. In their opinion, if it was really the school's decision as the security captain said, then how could they dare to force it? After all, it was not easy to get admitted to Qing University. If I were to be expelled just because of my curiosity, it would be too much of a loss. Well, have you thought it through? Do you still want to go in? The security captain glanced at everyone present and asked them with a smile. Humph, if you don't want to go in, then don't go in. It's the same if we wait outside. That's right, what's so great about it? Are you really using a chicken feather as a token of authority? It's not like he won't come out anyway, I don't believe he won't go this way, right? That's when everyone had to admit defeat. Suddenly, a voice came from the back of the crowd, everyone please make way. Let your sister do it, who are you? Get out of the way. You have no right to cut in line. That's right, first come first served, understand? After hearing this, the people in the front line immediately started cursing without even turning their heads. You know, they are already angry at the moment. Now there's a guy who wants to cut in line. How could they possibly tolerate it? What did you say? However, the man behind them, after hearing what they said, immediately asked angrily. What are we talking about, your ears? Fuck, isn't this senior Lin Yang? Why is he here too? My dear uncle, I just scolded him. This is terrible. The people in front wanted to continue cursing. But after they subconsciously turned their heads, only then did he realize that the person who came was actually Lin Yang, a junior. They were so angry just now, but they immediately made way. You know, Lin Yang is not an ordinary junior student. Not to mention his background, he is the son of Director Lin from the admissions office. Just his status in the school is enough to shock most of the students present. The first of the four school handsome boys. Student Union President. You can say that. Just with these two titles, all the students present have no choice but to give way. Snort. Seeing that everyone was sensible enough to make way, Lin Yang snorted coldly and walked directly to the security captain with a smug look on his face. Captain Zhang, if they can't go in, I should be able to go in, right? No. However, what Lin Yang never expected was, as soon as he finished speaking, the security captain in front of him immediately rejected him. Oh shit. Is this true or false? Even senior Lin Yang can't enter. When everyone present saw this scene, their eyes widened immediately. Do you know who I am? Lin Yang had never been treated like this before, his face immediately turned cold, and he spoke sternly to the security captain. You know, the reason why he wanted to go in was not because of curiosity. It was because his father, Director Lin, mentioned it to him when he got up this morning. Liu Shishi's younger brother Qin Huan will come to school by helicopter. And he has a dream of becoming a star. In his opinion, if he could establish a good relationship with Qin Huan first, he might be able to cling to Liu Shishi in the future. If you want to debut as a star then, won't it be a matter of minutes? I don't care who you are. Even if you are the king of heaven, don't even think about getting in today. The security captain curled his lips and said lightly. He naturally knew Lin Yang, and also knew his identity. However, this is the task assigned to him by the school. In his opinion, let alone Lin Yang. Even if his father, Director Lin, comes, he still can't get in. You? Hearing what the security captain said, Lin Yang was very angry. After a long while, he said with a sullen face, what if I insist on going in? Then you can expect to be fired. You? Just when the two sides were on the verge of a fight, Qin Huan, who had just got off the plane, walked towards them. Look everyone, the guy on the plane is coming. Who is this person? Do you know him? Why does he look familiar? Who else could it be? Isn't this Qin Huan? I heard him singing on Weibo the day before yesterday. Hiss, it's really him, my dear uncle. Didn't he come to school to prescribe poison 2 days ago? Why did he change to a helicopter this time? That's amazing. Most people would drive a luxury car to school, but this guy actually drove a helicopter. As soon as Qin Huan appeared, everyone present recognized him immediately. Actually, this is normal. You know, Qin Huan is now both at school and online. They are definitely the most popular ones. Qin Huan, look over here, I'm your fan. Just at this moment, a girl suddenly appeared in the crowd and shouted loudly to Qin Huan. Qin Huan, who heard the shout, looked over subconsciously. And he nodded to the girl in front of everyone present. Oh my god. Is this true or false? Is this possible? The other girls present saw this and felt envious. Who cares about being reserved? He quickly imitated the girl and started shouting wildly at Qin Huan. Qin Huan, look here, I'm your fan too. Qin Huan, your exaggerated singing is so beautiful. Qin Huan, I love you, please be my boyfriend. It's not hard to find. Among these shouting girls, there are the for-campus beauties of Qing University. Qin Huan, I love you too. Although I'm a male fan, I also want you to be my boyfriend. It was at this time. A shrill male voice from the crowd instantly quieted the scene. When Qin Huan heard the shout, he couldn't help but shiver. In his opinion, it's okay for girls to be greedy for his body. You're a big shot, what's the matter with you saying this? Are you greedy for my body too? Chapter 28, Domineering and Arrogant Zhang Meng. Just as Qin Huan was thinking this, what he never expected was next. The male students present seemed to be enlightened by this guy. They all imitated him and started shouting obscene words at Qin Huan. That scene is simply unbearable to watch. Fortunately, it happened at this moment. After seeing the commotion here, Liu Guodao and a group of school leaders hurried over. What are you all yelling about? How disgraceful. Liu Guodao frowned slightly and spoke sternly to everyone present. Shit, the principal is here, everyone evacuate. When everyone saw that it was the principal, they dared not stay here any longer. After shouting loudly, he immediately ran towards the playground. Humph, you guys are smart. After seeing this, the principal snorted coldly, but a smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. Turning around, he asked Qin Huan with concern, Huan, are you okay? Fine. Qin Huan replied. Okay, let's go to the meeting. Having said that, Liu Guodao took Qin Huan and the others and walked towards the playground. And after arriving at the playground, maybe he was worried that other students would affect Qin Huan. Liu Guodao also specially asked someone to arrange Qin Huan's seat to the front. You know, this front position usually has an unwritten rule. That is, you must be the best among the students to be qualified to sit in the front row. Therefore, at this time, except for the person in front of Qin Huan, the people sitting on his left, right, and behind him were all influential figures in the school. On the left is the number 1 school beauty among the for-school beauties, Wang Zixuan. On the right is the second most beautiful schoolgirl among the 4, and also the only commoner schoolgirl, Li Menger. From what she is wearing, we can tell that her family conditions are very ordinary. As for the person sitting behind Qin Huan, it was Lin Yan, the president of the student union, who had wanted to strike up a conversation with Qin Huan earlier. Qin Huan had just sat down when the 2 school beauties next to him were about to say something to him with shy looks on their faces. But before they could open their mouths, Lin Yan, who was sitting behind Qin Huan, took the lead and said to Qin Huan, Brother Qin Huan, I am Lin Yan, a junior in the School of Business Administration, and also the president of the student union. I wonder if you are interested in joining our student union. Join the student union. When Qin Huan heard this, he was immediately confused. In his opinion, he was just a freshman, how could someone invite him to join the student union? Yes, if you are willing, I can promote you to vice president of the society. What? Vice president of the student union? After hearing this, Qin Huan immediately refused and said, I'm sorry, I'm afraid I'm not interested in this. It's not that Qin Huan doesn't give him face, he really has no interest in joining this student union. In his opinion, it would be better to go to the library and read a few books with this time. However, when Lin Yang heard this, he thought that Qin Huan was complaining about his low official position. After thinking for a moment, he gritted his teeth and said, "Brother Qin Huan, if you feel that the position of vice president of the student union does not match your status, then..." Just when Lin Yang was thinking about giving the position of student union president to Qin Huan, suddenly, someone patted his shoulder. "Who is it?" Lin Yang, who was interrupted, said unhappily. "What's wrong? Can't I slap you? You're great." Lin Yang was about to curse, but in the next second, he quickly swallowed his words back. He forced a smile, turned around and said tremblingly to the person behind him, "It turns out to be Senior Zhang Meng, of course you can take the photo." "Humph, you're smart, kid." Zhang Meng snorted coldly and said to him in an ordering tone, "This position is mine, you go to the back." "What? Why, you don't want to?" As Zhang Meng spoke, he immediately stretched out his hand and clenched his fist in front of Lin Yang. "Yes, of course I will. I'll let you do it right away." Looking at his fist as big as a sandbag, Lin Yang had no choice but to compromise in the end. As he stood up, he quickly gave his seat to Zhang Meng. As for Lin Yang, the president of the student union, why is he so afraid of Zhang Meng? There are 3 reasons for this. First of all, his position as the president of the student union was given to him by Zhang Meng. The second point is that Zhang Meng's current position in school is the president of the Taekwondo club. Relying on his powerful strength, there are quite a few people who are bullied by him in school. Even Lin Yang, the president of the student union, was beaten into the hospital by him. As for this third point, the most important point is Zhang Meng's background. Not only does he have a grandfather who is very protective of his people, he is also the president of the China Taekwondo Association. Even his father and uncle all work in important departments. Don't say that Lin Yang can't afford to offend him. Even his father, Director Lin, cannot be provoked. "Boy, you are Qin Huan, right?" Zhang Meng had just sat down when he curled his lips and asked Qin Huan. However, with his attitude, how could Qin Huan pay any attention to him? He turned his head and simply ignored him. "Fuck, I'm asking you a question, are you deaf?" Seeing this, Zhang Meng's face changed and he spoke angrily to Qin Huan. "Who the hell are you talking about?" Although Qin Huan is a freshman, he is not someone who can be bullied. While turning around, a pair of sharp eyes were staring at Zhang Meng. And this action of his, however, it gave a great fright to the 2 school beauties beside him. They never thought that Qin Huan would dare to challenge Zhang Meng. Who is Zhang Meng? That person is someone who will beat people up at any time. In their opinion, even if Qin Huan is very rich, it is of no use in the face of absolute strength. I was just thinking, should I speak up and persuade Zhang Meng? After all, although Zhang Meng is very domineering, he is quite gentlemanly towards girls. But before they could speak, Zhang Meng, who had been a little frightened by Qin Huan's stare, took the lead and laughed. "Har har, I didn't expect you to have such a bad temper, but I like it. Boy, I have good news for you. You are qualified to join our Taekwondo club." "Yeah." After hearing this, Qin Huan curled his lips and said indifferently, "Sorry, I'm not interested." What did you say?" Zhang Meng looked at Qin Huan and couldn't believe his ears. You know, this is the first time in his life that someone of the same age has called him lousy in person. "I said I'm not interested, are you deaf?" Qin Huan also deliberately raised his voice when he said this. And this also leads to, not only the students around them looked at them, but the school leaders on the stage did the same. Oh my god, am I hallucinating? Qin Huan is actually scolding Senior Zhang Meng. My god, is he crazy? This is terrible. I think my idol will have to stay in the hospital for the next few months. Hey, why did I have to mess with this evil spirit when I could mess with anyone else? Those old students who know Zhang Meng. After seeing this scene, my jaw almost dropped to the ground in shock. In their opinion, even if Qin Huan didn't die, he would probably be skinned alive. As for Liu Guodao and others on the stage, at first he looked stunned, then he quickly shouted at Zhang Meng, who told you to sit there? Go back to your seat. Just wait, kid, this isn't over yet. Seeing this, Zhang Meng, who was about to take action, immediately stopped what he was doing. Although he is very domineering and arrogant, he is just a student after all. Challenge the school leaders. I definitely don't dare to do that. After glaring at Qin Huan fiercely, he stood up and returned to his original position. Chapter 29, The Resentful Seniors. Huan, come here. At this moment, Liu Guodao, who was worried that Qin Huan would be retaliated against, waved at him. Okay. Qin Huan didn't think much about it, he stood up and walked in front of Liu Guodao. Huan, do you know who that person was just now? Liu Guodao pulled Qin Huan aside and asked with a frown. Have no idea. Qin Huan replied truthfully. He is. Seeing Qin Huan shaking his head, Liu Guodao immediately told Qin Huan all about Zhang Meng's identity and background. What do you mean, principal? However, after hearing this, Qin Huan didn't agree at all. I mean. Liu Guodao didn't waste any time and quickly expressed his thoughts. If he insists on provoking you in the future, you can call me at any time. My phone number is. Just when Liu Guodao was about to give out his number. But in the next second, Qin Huan simply waved his hand and said, Principal, no need, I can handle it myself. You solve it yourself. You know he. When Liu Guodao heard this, he immediately wanted to persuade him further. Principal, don't worry. Qin Huan curled his lips and interrupted, it's fine if he doesn't provoke me, but if he really dares to provoke me, even if his grandfather comes, I will beat him up. I have to say. Although Qin Huan's words sounded very arrogant, he was not bragging. You know, in the past 2 days, Qin Huan did not only learn Chinese martial arts from his third sister Zhuang Mengmeng. Fifth sister Xia Jinsi also taught him a lot of fighting skills. Although he was not sure what realm he had reached now. But he was confident that he could easily beat Zhang Meng. After all, with his current strength, he can break rocks with just one punch. Qin Huan didn't really take a guy who just kicked the fragile wooden board seriously. Ahem. After hearing this, Liu Guodao couldn't help but cough twice. After a long time, he sighed and said, okay, then you can do it yourself. Just as the two of them were chatting about these, the students in the audience also started discussing in low voices in twos and threes. What do you think the principal is talking about when he called Qin Huan over? What else can we talk about? We must be talking about Senior Zhang Meng. Hey, Qin Huan is the same. He offended Senior Zhang Meng on the first day. He will be beaten to death in the future. That shouldn't be the case. Isn't the principal here? Come forward. That's useless. Is he going to follow Qin Huan 24 hours a day? That is true. Just as everyone was discussing in a low voice, Zhang Meng, who was not far away, sneered, and a ferocious smile immediately appeared at the corner of his mouth. In his opinion, what if the principal helped Qin Huan? Since you dare to offend me, you must pay the price. Wait until Qin Huan returned to his seat again. Principal Liu Guodao did not waste any time and immediately announced the official start of the freshman welcome ceremony. At the same time, the showdown between Chen Shaoquan and Liu Shisha is also ready. You know, today is not just the day when Qin Huan officially starts school. It is also the day when top star Chen Shaoquan competes with superstar Liu Shisha. It's no exaggeration to say. The commotion this time has not only been highly anticipated by fans of both sides. Even the big names in this industry are paying close attention to it. It's only early in the morning, but the front page headlines of major platforms such as Weibo have already been dominated by a piece of news. It can be said that no matter which side loses this competition, they will definitely become the laughingstock of the entire circle. And the final result is obvious without having to think about it. Liu Shisha is worthy of being the queen. He simply crushed Chen Shaoquan to the ground. Although Chen Shaoquan gained a lot of popularity because of this, he also became the target of ridicule by countless black fans in the following years. What about the middle-parted hair, overalls, and using the Iron Mountain backrest to play basketball? As long as the above things appear in a video, the comments below will be quite exciting. Of course, these are just afterthoughts. The screen returns to this side. Principal Liu Guodao and some leaders after delivering the opening speeches. Next it was the turn for the seniors to perform. I don't know if it was intentional. All the people who perform on stage are basically the celebrities in the school. Even the two school beauties sitting next to Qin Huan came on stage to perform a dance together. Brother Qin Huan, how was my dance just now? Because I hadn't talked to Qin Huan before. As soon as Wang Zishuan stepped down from the stage, he immediately asked Qin Huan with a smile. Fine. Qin Huan didn't say much, just casually responded. In his opinion, although this school beauty is very beautiful, she is not his type. Since you have no interest, it's better not to give others hope. And this also leads to Li Meng'er, a common school beauty who originally wanted to talk to Qin Huan, quickly turned her head away as if nothing had happened. Brother Qin Huan, you are too cold, aren't you? Seeing that Qin Huan didn't even look at her, Wang Zixuan couldn't help but look resentful. Is there? Qin Huan curled her lips and said disapprovingly, actually, I think your dancing is not as good as Meng's. As soon as these words were spoken, before Wang Zixuan could react, Li Meng'er immediately turned to look at Qin Huan. Brother Qin Huan, do you really think so? Certainly. Actually it's not that good. Li Meng'er giggled, and a blush instantly appeared on her face. Wang Zixuan, who was standing by, couldn't help but feel jealous when he saw this. You are right. However, at this moment, Qin Huan continued to say, compared to my second sister, you are indeed a lot worse. What is a straight man? This is it. It's no exaggeration to say. In just a short period of time, Qin Huan offended two girls. Just as the two girls looked at Qin Huan with resentment on their faces, suddenly, the principal interrupted them with his words, next, please invite Qin Huan to the stage. Let Qin Huan go on stage. What does that mean? Do you want him to perform too? Shouldn't it be? A freshman shouldn't be qualified. You know what? I'm actually looking forward to his performance. After all, the song he sang a few days ago was so good. That's right. I think it sounds great too. It would be great if I could listen to it live. The principal had just said this. The other students in the audience immediately began to speculate. Most people believed that the principal called Qin Huan up most likely to ask him to perform. However, they soon discovered that their vision was too narrow. Chapter 35. Sister Xia Jinxi also came to school. Qin Huan walked onto the stage. Principal Liu Guodao directly gave the C position to him. And in front of all the students present, together with the school leaders on the stage, they bowed deeply to Qin Huan. What the hell, what's going on? What are the principal and the others doing? They are bowing to a student. Oh my god, am I dazzled? I have to say. In the eyes of the students, this scene was like a thunderclap. They never expected it. Qin Huan is just a student, how can he enjoy such treatment? Certainly. Not only did they not expect. The same goes for Qin Huan, the person involved. Principal, what are you doing? Qin Huan opened his mouth and was about to say something. But before he could finish speaking, Liu Guodao waved his hand and interrupted him directly. Huan, this is our thanks to you, I hope you won't reject our kindness. When Qin Huan heard this, he immediately understood. Grateful? What does this mean? As for the others, they were somewhat puzzled. Just as they were confused, Principal Liu Guodao turned around and looked at all the students present. Students, not only do our school leaders want to thank Qin Huan, you should also bow to him. What? We bow to him too. Why? Yes. Even if he is rich, he shouldn't make us bow to him, right? Anyway, I won't bow. Whoever you want to bow can bow. Everyone was already feeling a little puzzled. How could they possibly agree to Liu Guodao's seemingly unreasonable request? One by one, they immediately refused. Students, do you know why I ask you to bow? Liu Guodao did not get angry when he saw this, but instead asked back to everyone present. I don't care why, just don't expect me to bow to him. Zhang Meng said this and stood up from his seat. You know, Qin Huan had just offended him not long ago. How could it be possible for him to bow to Qin Huan now? Senior Zhang Meng is right. I won't bow to him either. And me, too. When everyone heard what Zhang Meng said, they immediately echoed him. Then if I tell you that Qin Huan donated 100 million to the school just to build a library and other public facilities for you, will you still refuse to bow to him? Liu Guodao no longer kept the secret and went straight to the point. What? What did he say? Qin Huan donated 100 million to the school. Just to build public facilities such as libraries for us. Is this true or false? When everyone present heard this, they could hardly believe their ears. Although they knew that Qin Huan was very rich, they never imagined that he was so rich. Just donate 100 million yuan, and it's for them? For a moment, The people who were clamming just now suddenly felt ashamed. Yes. Qin Huan is so generous to them. Just asking them to bow, what does that matter? There would be no room for hesitation. After everyone looked at each other, they stood up from their seats. He bent down deeply towards the direction where Qin Huan was. And while bending down, they did not forget to shout in unison, "Thank you, classmate Qin Huan." Certainly. Not everyone knows how to be grateful. For example, Zhang Meng and his group of people in the Taekwondo club not only had no intention of bowing, but they also showed ridicule towards everyone's actions. Come on, this is what I should do. Seeing everyone like this, Qin Huan immediately spoke. To be honest, he still feels a little guilty. After all, this 100 million donation was actually donated by his elder sister Li Mingyu. And everyone heard what Qin Huan said. I was already feeling very ashamed, but now I felt even more moved. Good man. Qin Huan is such a good person. Okay, everyone sit down. Liu Guodao was very satisfied with this and gestured for everyone to sit down. And not long after everyone sat down. Today's freshman welcome meeting has finally come to an end. Seeing that everyone was about to gather around him, Qin Huan didn't dare to stay here any longer. In a flash, he ran straight to the teaching building. Just when he was about to look for his classroom, suddenly, a figure not far away instantly attracted his attention. Fifth sister. Qin Huan shouted uncertainly at the man's back. Well. Hearing the shout, Xie Jinxi immediately turned around. Fifth sister, is it really you? Seeing that the person was indeed his fifth sister, Qin Huan immediately trotted over and asked, "Why are you here?" You guess. Xie Jinxi patted Qin Huan's shoulder and said mysteriously. Then let me think, are you here to go to school? Qin Huan pretended to think, and then said jokingly, "No, you are so old, the school will not accept you." What did you say, you little brat? Believe it or not, I'll beat you up. When Xie Jinxi heard this, she immediately said unhappily, "Your fifth sister is only 26 years old, okay? The doctoral students in this school are almost all the same age as me. Why can't I be here to study?" You know, although Xie Jinxi had been in the frontier for nearly 10 years, he was only 16 when he joined the army. Are you really here for school? After hearing this, Qin Huan couldn't help but ask with a look of suspicion. What else? TSK, I don't believe your nonsense. Qin Huan curled his lips and urged, "Hurry up and tell me, what are you doing here?" Har har, you'll know in the afternoon. You found out in the afternoon. What do you mean? Are you here to be a counselor? You guess. I guess you. Qin Huan was just about to say something. Suddenly, I noticed that not far away, a large group of students were rushing towards this side. So, he quickly asked Xie Jinxi, "By the way, fifth sister, do you know where the classroom of Class 8 of the finance department is?" The building at the back, the fourth room on the right on the third floor. Without any hesitation, Xie Jinxi directly reported the location. Oh my god, is this true? After hearing this, Qin Huan couldn't help but ask with a suspicious look on his face, "Fifth sister, are you our counselor? Otherwise, how could you know our Class 8 classroom so well?" You guess. Forget it, I won't ask you anymore, by fifth sister. Qin Huan said this, and immediately turned around and prepared to leave. But just at this moment, Xie Jinxi said to him from behind in a very confusing manner, Huan, remember to eat more at noon." I won't be polite to you, sister. Eat more food. What does this mean? Qin Huan didn't think much about it and quickly fled from there. What he didn't realize was, at this moment, the fifth sister Xie Jinxi showed a very cunning smile on her face. You little bastard, how dare you say I'm old? You will know in the afternoon whether I am old or not.